expert insights, lively discussions, and real talk about safeguarding your personal data in today's connected world. If data privacy matters to you, tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28. It's the Data Privacy Conference. Catch our broadcast live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or keep your dial locked on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Information Commissioner.
It's hard-hitting. It's riveting. It's the much-talked-about cover story during Nationwide at 5. Here Cliff Hughes get to the heart of the story of the day. Cover Story aired 5:30 weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Nationwide at 5. Talk radio at its best. Cover Story.
Cover Story is brought to you by JTA Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Multilink, roll with control. Use Multilink, safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Roby Ann Williams.
In Nationwide News, at this hour, the government is moving ahead with efforts to criminalize explicit images created using artificial intelligence.
The administration is also seeking to punish those who share revenge.
That should be revenge porn. The JPS says it has now secured all the funds needed for restoration work.
MP for Central Westmoreland Dwayne Vaz threatens to sue Councillor Julian Chang after she accuses him of sexual harassment.
2 senior municipal employees charged for cocaine fine to return to court February 4.
In news from the rest of the world, Guyana raises income tax threshold by $10,000 per month.
Donald Trump says investigation underway into killing of Minneapolis protester.
In sports, South Africa crushed West Indies in T20 opener in Paarl on Tuesday.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, the criminalization of revenge porn and stronger penalties for digital scams are coming under the amended cybercrimes bill now before the Parliament. The Minister with Responsibility for Technology, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, will tell us what's in the bill.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, is there a sexual harassment problem in Jamaica? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90 FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the JPS says it now has the full funding it needs to complete restoration works within the time required by the government. You'll hear more from Tuesday's sitting of the PAAC.
In the third hour, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, has pushed back at criticisms by opposition leader Ralph Thorne over the upcoming general election.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile Nationwide 90 FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday, January 27, 2026.
The hour is brought to you by the KFC Value Menu. Grab a chicken box, famous bowl, small popcorn chicken, or crunch sandwich today with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. The criminalization of revenge porn and explicit images generated by artificial intelligence are coming under proposed amendments to the Cybercrimes Act. The bill is now before the Parliament. In piloting the bill on Tuesday, Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley says the non-consensual sharing of intimate recordings is a modern scourge. Dr. Wheatley says this will also include images that are generated through artificial intelligence.
Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the clause defines intimate image to include content that is captured, generated, or created, Mr. Speaker. And I repeat that. to include content that is captured, generated, or created. Mr. Speaker, this is very important as we are now living in an artificial intelligence age. Because, Mr. Speaker, the law must protect Jamaicans not only from what a camera records, but also from what modern tools can fabricate. Mr. Speaker, we have to ensure that those who seek to hide behind a computer or a similar device cannot cause harm, malicious or otherwise, to the reputations of Jamaicans.
A joint select committee to review the Cybercrimes Act completed its work in May of 2023. It sought to update the legislation which was first passed in 2015. Minister Wheatley says the updated law will also address the rising threat of digital fraud.
Increasingly, criminals are using AI-enabled tools, synthetic voices, manipulated images, and deepfakes to make these deceptions more believable and more dangerous. This bill, Mr. Speaker, strengthens our hands against that fraud ecosystem in a very practical way. It does not merely chase the individual scammer after the money is gone. It targets the enablers, the tools, the infrastructure, and the environments that make organized cyber fraud profitable.
Dr. Andrew Wheatley, the Technology Minister.
Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on technology Christopher Brown, while welcoming the amended legislation, called for more to be done in enforcement.
There remains a significant enforcement challenge. Many of these fraudulent schemes and coordinated online abuses are carried out through fake or pseudo accounts operating outside of Jamaica's jurisdiction. For that reason, I wish to urge the government to give serious consideration to Jamaica's accession to the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. This convention provides a proven framework for cross-border cooperation, mutual legal assistance, and the rapid exchange of digital evidence.
Christopher Brown, opposition spokesman on technology, and opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, says the lengthy time taken to bring the bill to the House has left it dated in dealing with artificial intelligence.
The reality is that the work that would have been done almost 3 years ago would not have taken account of probably the most important development in technology over the last century, which is the advent of artificial intelligence. I made this point to say that the lack of timeliness of moving from a joint select committee to a report to amendments affects this particular legislation more than others, because the nature of technology evolves so quickly. And so we have to ensure that, particularly for legislation of this nature, that we conduct the reviews and do the amendments in a timely fashion.
Julian Robinson, opposition spokesman on finance.
The Jamaica Public Service Company, the JPS, says it now has the full funding it needs to complete restoration works within the time required by the government. The executives of the Light and Power Company clarified the full cost and scope of the restoration effort at Tuesday's sitting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, the PAAC. The company has also revealed that it has revised the total cost of restoration work. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Opposition leader Mark Golding has criticized Energy Minister Darrell Vaz for only giving JPS $150 million after initially suggesting the total amount needed for restoration was $350 million. Chairman of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC, Peter Bunting, raised the issue at Tuesday's meeting.
There was some uncertainty when we were dealing with this matter. First of all, what was the size of the loan? Because the figure had been all over the place. So if you could just give us what was the final loan that you received? What are the terms? What was there an origination fee, and how that impacts your capacity to complete the restoration?
But JPS CEO Hugh Grant explained that final estimates for the restoration has been revised downward to $300 million. That's $50 million less than initially anticipated.
So the revised and the latest estimate that we have on the restoration cost is in the order of $300 million. So that has been reduced.
As to the source of funding, JPS's Chief Financial Officer, Vernon Douglas, provided a breakdown including not only the government's loan, but the additional funding secured from JPS's investors and cash from operations.
In terms of sources, 150 from the loan. The interest rate on that loan is 5.5%. It's a 5-year tenure. Those are the key terms. There's no
other fees related.
No fees. All right. Interest paid biannually starting 2026, a 1-year moratorium. In terms of other sources of funding, the EDF around 42 million, other short-term loans from commercial lenders about 15 million, and the rest, the lion's share of that, over 125 million or thereabout, is from our cash from operations, and our investments are made from unregulated businesses, as in funds paid from our shareholders into JPS to help support our cash at this time.
Meanwhile, the JPS CEO says while they've achieved a 95% restoration of its network so far, the company has also laid the foundation to build greater resilience to natural disasters. He says this has already been integrated into the company's operational plans going forward.
We're restoring primarily to like in kind, but build in some elements of resilience, like having the polecrete, the expanding foam, and then in some areas, particularly along the transmission corridors, we're looking to use composite poles instead of wooden poles that can elevate the rating closer to, say, a category 5. But that's really selective. But for the greater part of the restoration, in the interest of time, you're sort of restoring with like in kind, because frankly, to build in these resilient components, there are long lead times on these materials, north of 6 months to a year on many of them. So it's on a go-forward basis that we look to have that in our plan.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the JPS boss says 33,000 customers are still without power following October's passage of Hurricane Melissa.
I have some good news since we last shared this presentation. As of this morning, we're actually at 95% of our customers who have power. That means that 33,000 of our near 700,000 customers are remaining without power. That right there is as a result of the dedication, the heightened partnerships, the strong execution, and the strong planning from our team, and many thanks to all the stakeholders involved.
Hugh Grant, CEO of JPS. The update follows Sunday's launch of an emergency mobile power generation unit in Westmoreland. Darlaston was among the first communities to benefit from increased JPS presence in the parish in the past week. Mr. Grant explained that restoration in Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth has been hampered by the scale of the infrastructural damage.
Moving now to the west, we see whereby Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, they have some blue. And that's due to the catastrophic damage on the grid in those areas, and also the significant damage to many of the homes, businesses in that area that frankly also are not ready to receive power. So in Westmoreland, we are more than 60% restored in terms of the customers, and in St. Elizabeth, we are above 70% restored in terms of the customers at this stage in the restoration process.
That was Hugh Grant.
Attorneys representing Central Westmoreland MP Dwayne Vaz have threatened to sue Councillor Julian Chang unless she retracts what they say are false and defamatory comments she made against him on Monday. The councillor has accused the sitting Member of Parliament of sexual harassment. He denies the allegation. The demand letter was issued on Tuesday by the law firm Knight Jr. and Samuels. It says the comments made during her interview on Monday are wholly untrue and have caused serious damage to MP Vaz's reputation. The attorneys say her reliance on allegations of sexual harassment as a tool to advance her narrative that their client is destroying her political career was most unfortunate. The letter further addressed claims by Mrs. Chang that MP Vaz removed her as chairman of the Savannah-Lamar division. It says an election was held in the division at which Mrs. Chang was in attendance, but it says she was neither nominated nor elected to any position. The attorneys are demanding that the councillor issues a public apology and retract her comments by Friday, January 30. They are demanding the retraction be published on Nationwide News, failing which, they say, Vaz will sue Chang.
And the People's National Party PNP Women's Movement says it was unaware of sexual harassment allegations against MP for Central Westmoreland Dwayne Vaz by Councillor Julian Chang. Chang, who represents the Savannah-Lamar division in the parish, told Nationwide News on Monday that she has been barred from constituency meetings after rebuffing what she says are sexual advances from the MP. The councillor says she reported the matter to the party, but no action was taken.
Have you reported this to the Secretariat, to the leadership of the PNP?
Every single thing that I have spoken to you about now, yes.
Have you sent those things in writing?
I have sent the messages to them, yes.
And what was the response you received?
I was told that an internal affairs commission would have been having a meeting with us, and to date I have not had a meet. Oh, this has been going on for almost a year now.
And no communication from the party leader or the party general secretary or any senior officer for the party?
I did try to reach out to the general secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, and I have not received a response.
Julian Chang, councillor for the Savannah-Lamar division. But in a release on Tuesday, the women's movement says the allegations first came to their attention when it was shared with our news centre. The women's movement says it has since reached out to the party leadership and Councillor Chang on the matter. The movement says it's confident the PNP will empanel its independent complaints committee to ensure that the matter is properly investigated and the appropriate action taken.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
See twice the style for less at IQ Optical. Buy one pair of glasses and get your second and third pair half price. Don't miss out. Call 876-929-7732 or visit IQ Optical today, where clarity never looked sharper.
The time by IQ Optical is...
It's 15 minutes after 5.
Termites, rodents, or birds infesting your home or office? Call Rentokil Initial, the pest expert, at 876-926-4236 for a free pest assessment island-wide. The temperature brought to you by Rentokil Initial is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay.
KFC, my mind studying. Right now I'm thinking chicken, famous bowl. Chicken box combo and popcorn chicken, KFC on my mind. It's on my brain, great flavor, great taste like every day. Give me that price. Follow benefit the budget, little bit to your pay.
The KFC value menu always has you thinking chicken. Get the chicken box combo for just $680, or get the famous bowl combo for $620, or popcorn chicken combo for $630. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Continuing the news, the two senior municipal corporation employees caught with nearly 21 pounds of cocaine at the Sangston International Airport are to return to court on February 4. The duo appeared in the St. James Parish Court on Tuesday to answer to several charges under the Dangerous Drugs Act. Trevon Clayton, who's employed to the St. Ann Municipal Corporation, was remanded into custody. Latoya Hemmings, who's a senior managing accountant at the Trelawney Municipal Council, had her bail extended. At the next hearing, a bail application is expected to be made on behalf of Clayton. The pair have been jointly charged with conspiracy as well as multiple counts of possession of, dealing in, and attempting to export cocaine. Hemmings has also been charged with possession of criminal property. The two were arrested on January 16 following an operation at the airport by the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, the FNID. Reports from FNID are that Clayton and Hemmings, who were traveling together, checked in for a flight destined for New York. They were intercepted by port security and FNID personnel at a security checkpoint. A search of their luggage reportedly revealed several false compartments containing packages of cocaine weighing 20.5 pounds. Police also found a quantity of U.S. currency in Hemmings' handbag. Following the arrests, FNID conducted secondary operations at the suspect's residence in Trelawney, where they seized a Glock 19 pistol, 13 rounds of ammunition, and 1 ounce of cocaine.
And police have seized 108 pounds of cocaine during an operation at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James. The seizure was made at about 7 p.m. on Monday. A farmer of a St. Elizabeth address was taken into custody in connection with the find. The cocaine was reportedly discovered during a search at the airport. Investigations are now being carried out by the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID.
The Energy Minister Darrell Vaz has cautioned citizens against spreading misinformation about the offshore exploration being undertaken by United Oil and Gas.
They have been here at it for 9 years, and it's not something that's inexpensive. So even the very vessel that we see here, it's not a cheap exercise. But they are committed based on their own research, and they are investing to grow it to the next step. So the government of Jamaica is hopeful, while other of our neighbors in the Caribbean have been lucky enough to strike oil, that Jamaica is blessed enough, and the timing is right for us to do the same. But I would caution everybody in not getting overexcited and to listen to proper channels of information and not misinformation, which has happened in the past. This is not a drilling exercise. This is still an exploratory exercise.
A vessel is currently conducting seabed surveys aimed at determining whether oil-like substances detected in Jamaican waters are commercially viable. On Monday, the minister toured the exploration vessel that will conduct the research activities in Jamaica's offshore waters. Operations will continue for a 2 to 3 week period, with results expected within 2 months after the survey has concluded. The minister also gave an update on the success rate so far based on previous research.
Very interesting tour of the vessel that is going to carry out the fact-finding mission. They're going to go about 35 miles off coast at the eastern end of the island, and they have some very sophisticated equipment. What the United Oil and Gas rep was telling me is that currently they're at about a 20% success rate based on all of the research that has been done before. This particular exploration here, fact-finding mission, could carry them to 1 in 3 instead of 1 in 5, which would hugely increase the interest in funding the next phase.
Darrell Vaz there, the Energy Minister.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. In Guyana, the government is raising the income tax threshold by $10,000 per month. The threshold will now move from $130,000 to $140,000. It will remove 5,000 people from the tax net and add $2 billion in disposable income. The measure is outlined in the 2026 budget tabled in the National Assembly on Monday. The $1 trillion spending plan is Guyana's largest ever. The Irfan Ali administration says it's designed to provide direct financial support to citizens, enhance social services, and stimulate economic growth. Also in the budget, net property taxes on individuals will be removed. A total of $9 billion is also set aside to offset the rising cost of living.
In the United States, Donald Trump says a big investigation is underway into the killing of Protestant ICU nurse Alex Pretty by federal agents in Minneapolis. Pretty was shot and killed on Saturday by a Border Patrol officer. His death has led to multiple protests and vigils across several U.S. cities. Trump's comment is the latest marker of his sudden turnabout on the issue. His administration is confronting growing pushback on federal agents' tactics in the second fatal shooting from the aggressive immigration operation in Minnesota. A day earlier, the White House made an effort to distance Trump from comments by members of his administration. The officials had branded Pretty as a domestic terrorist, despite videos of the encounter contradicting the narrative.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, the government is moving ahead with efforts to criminalize explicit images created using artificial intelligence.
The administration is also seeking to punish those who share revenge porn.
JPS says it has now secured all the funds needed for restoration work.
MP for Central Westmoreland Dwayne Vaz threatens to sue Councillor Julian Chang after she accuses him of sexual harassment.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Roby Ann Williams.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at rivernews.ai and on the River News app. Available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next. The headlines at 6.
Following the passage of Hurricane Melissa, Jamaicans are urged to take precautions to prevent leptospirosis, a disease spread through contact with water, soil, or food contaminated by the urine of infected animals. Remember, avoid swimming, wading, or playing in floodwaters or any water that may have resulted from flooding. Avoid consuming food that may have been contaminated with floodwater or animal urine. Wear protective clothing and footwear when working or walking in areas that may be contaminated. And visit the nearest health center immediately if you experience fever, chills, muscle pain, or other flu-like symptoms. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Attention, doctors, scientists, veterinarians, estheticians, occupational therapists, and the general public, especially those affected by stroke, diabetes, autism, Alzheimer's, memory loss, or skin conditions. Join Jamaica's first New Age Regenerative Stem Cell Medicine Conference, January 31 to February 1, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Jamaica Conference Center. Learn from world-renowned experts, including Professor Mike Chan and Professor Jonathan Lakey, as they explore human and animal stem cell breakthroughs. Register at eventbrite.com or scdleapja.com.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. We start with news on cricket. South Africa inflicted a crushing 9-wicket defeat on the West Indies in the opening game of their 3-match one-day international series, a game played in Paarl on Tuesday. The hosts chased down a reasonably challenging 174. They reached 176 for 1 with 13 balls to spare. The captain, Aiden Markram, he led the way with an undefeated 86, and this represents his highest score in T20 International. He shared in an unbroken second wicket stand of 89 with their wicket-keeper, Ryan Reckleton, who made 40. Luhandra Dre Pretorius was the man dismissed. He was bowled by Ruston Chase for 44. The West Indies had earlier recovered from 95 for 5 to post 176 all out in 173 for 7 in their 20 overs. Shimron Hetmar continues his good form. He made 48 today of 32 balls. Rovman Powell, the Jamaican who was once captain of the T20 team, he made 29 not out, and Brandon King made 27. George Linde bagged the 3 for 25, 2 wickets apiece going to Keshav Maharaj and Corbin Bosch. The teams will meet again in the second game, and that one will come up on Thursday. But before that, let's hear from Ruston Chase, the captain, who admitted that the side fell well short when they batted.
Firstly, I thought we were probably 15, 20 runs short. We were initially looking for 180, 185, so I thought we were initially short in the batting. And then to start in the bowling in the power play, I thought that we didn't have the best of starts, and it was hard to pull back the game from there because the batter just had to duck around the ball, and they didn't have to take too much risk to keep up with the run rate after that ball play.
He also thought that they needed to put together better partnerships.
We need to have a bit more plans in the ball play to the batters, especially bowling ball play. And I mean, just for the batters to continue. We thought that we got starts. We had a decent start in our ball play as well, but we lost too many wickets at crucial stages. As we had the momentum going in our field, we got out and put games back into the South Africans' hands, and I think that slowed us down a lot. Losing too many wickets at crucial times slowed us down, and then obviously we didn't get to the score that we wanted.
Yeah, that's the West Indies captain Ruston Chase. I did mention that the teams are meeting again in Game 2 on Thursday. That game will not be in Paarl, but instead at Supersport Park in Centurion. Still with cricket, Jamaica made a losing start to their 50-over campaign in the Cricket West Indies Regional Women's Tournament. The game played today at Cumberland Ground. They were beaten by 5 wickets, and that defeat came against Guyana. The Jamaicans were bowled out for 76 in the 28th over with Krishana McKenzie 25, offering the only real resistance in a game that got off to a late start due to rain. Ashmini Munasar bagged the 4 for 23, while Keisha Schultz and Tremaine Marks picked up 2 wickets apiece. Now, the Guyanese replied strongly. They did so with 77 for 5, and it came off exactly the 27 overs, which they bowled the Jamaicans out, and the Jamaicans will next be in action on Thursday. They take on Barbados at Sean Hill. In fact, at Sean Hill today, the Windward Islands, they beat Trinidad and Tobago by 91 runs in a dominant performance. Afi Fletcher, well, she made 61, Zadie James at 38, and Janella Glasgow made 73. They were the top scorers for the Windwards, who posted 225 for 7 in their allotted overs. The Trinis were then blown away for 134 in 33 overs. Leanne Kirby made 31, and the aforementioned Fletcher, she picked up 4 for 23, while Barbados beat the Leeward Islands by 79 runs. That game was played at Park Hill today. Nanjani Cumberbatch top scored for Barbados with 74 in their 144 all-out against Shawishna Hector, who bagged the 4 for 19. The Leewards then crumbled to 65 in 22 overs. Shamilia Connell bagged 4 for 17. And yeah, we've got a heavy cricket schedule today because the West Indies will face Australia in a very, very high-stakes Super Sixes encounter at the ICC Under-19 World Cup. They're no longer in Namibia, they're now in Zimbabwe, so the game will be at the Harare Sports Club, and it gets going on Wednesday morning Jamaica time at 2:30. The 2016 champions are currently 4th in Group 1 with 4 points, and they must beat the unbeaten Aussies to have a chance to get into the semi-finals, because Afghanistan, who topped the West Indies preliminary round group, they are also in contention for a semi-final spot. On Wednesday morning, they'll also be in action. They'll take on Ireland also at 2:30. Now, because they have such a superior net run rate over the chasing pack in the group, they will get into the semi-finals if they manage to beat the Irish. And there's also a third team in the running, Sri Lanka. They're also in the running for a semi-final spot. They'll be taking on South Africa, and they too, if they win, could get into the semi-finals, because at the minute they're above the West Indies in the standings. So it's Australia, it's Afghanistan, and it's also Sri Lanka and the West Indies, then South Africa. So all to play for tomorrow in those high-stakes game, all of them. And finally, in sports at this time, the Jamaica national under-17 women's football team will be pushing for their first victory of the 2026 CONCACAF under-17 women's qualifiers. They'll take on the host country Aruba in a Group D encounter, and that kicks off at 6 o'clock Jamaica time on the Tuesday evening, so in just about 29 minutes from now. The Young Reggae Girls opened their campaign with a hard-fought 1-1 draw, and this was against Guyana on Sunday. The Arubans began their campaign. They were beaten by Honduras by 3-1. This will be the third meeting between the Jamaica team and, of course, Aruba. Jamaica won 2 of those games, in fact scoring 17 unanswered goals in 2 of those games. So we wish the Young Reggae Girls all the best in their game tonight against Aruba, starting at 6 o'clock Jamaica time. We've got to do it for now for sports, and we're going to be back at 6:05 with lots more in our major sportscast with Alex Swady.
For all your custom framing, printing, graphic design, and purchase of art, Make It Frame Art Jamaica Limited, serving you for over 40 years. The time by Frame Art Jamaica is
5:31.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Enjoy peace of mind knowing that your hard-earned money is protected by the JDIC. That's right, the JDIC through the Deposit Insurance Scheme guarantees up to $1.2 million of your deposits in commercial banks, merchant banks, and building societies. This means your deposits, such as your savings and checking accounts, are covered. Rest easy knowing that your deposits are secure. Your deposits always protected. For more information, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JDICJAM, or visit our website at www.jdic.org.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
The National Rural School Bus Program is getting smarter. With your child's student ID card, parents receive real-time notifications every time they board or exit the bus. Each card is unique and securely linked to the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information database. Tap on, tap off, and parents stay updated instantly. So, how do you register? Number 1, visit jamaica-district.mysmartterm.com/bus-portal/registration. Number 2, enter your child's details. Number 3, upload supporting documents. Number 4, submit your application. It's that easy. Safer, smarter, more secure. Register today and ride with peace of mind.
It's the Chris and Charles Merry Money Mania loan promotion. This Christmas, borrow big and win bigger. Get $1.5 million or $2 million in loans at special reduced rates, plus a chance to win your share of $1 million. And new customers get double entries. The promotion runs from October 15 and is now extended to January 30, 2026. Visit any Chris and Charles branch or chrisandcharles.com for details. Chris and Charles, making life merry again. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Stepping confidently into a new year starts with one simple, powerful word. Yes! Say yes to new beginnings. Say yes to a secure future. Say yes to living the life you love with your family. With health and life insurance from Sagicor Life. We're here to give you the protection and peace of mind you deserve in 2026. All you have to do is say yes to what matters most. Call 888-SAGICOR to speak with an advisor today.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28, as we broadcast from the Data Privacy Conference at the University of Technology's Alfred Sangster Auditorium. The Office of the Information Commissioner, in collaboration with the University of Technology Jamaica, is set to turn the spotlight on your digital rights. This is where innovation meets protection and information meets action. Expect expert insights, lively discussions, and real talk about safeguarding your personal data in today's connected world. If data privacy matters to you, tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28. It's the Data Privacy Conference. Catch our broadcast live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or keep your dial locked on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Information Commissioner.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. This is the cover story. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
How are you, my friend?
Doing all right. How are you?
About 6 weeks ago on vacation, Phil.
It was just 3.
Really?
3. It did feel long, though. Genuinely did feel like I was
about 6 weeks ago. And a YouTuber, I think, say, God, left the work. Anyhow, welcome back, Siobhan.
It's good to be back.
We're going to turn to matters of technology in the cover story this afternoon, because the criminalization of revenge porn and explicit images generated by artificial intelligence are coming under the proposed amendments. That's coming under the proposed amendments to the Cyber Crimes Act, and the bill is now before the Parliament. In piloting it today, the Technology Minister, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, says the non-consensual sharing of intimate recordings is a modern scourge.
He says this will also include images that are generated through artificial intelligence. Joint Select Committee to review the Cyber Crimes Act completed its work in May of 2023. It sought to update the legislation, which was first passed in 2015. Minister Wheatley says the updated law will also address the rising threat of digital fraud. Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on technology, that's Christopher Brown, while welcoming the amended legislation, called for more to be done in enforcement.
there remains a significant enforcement challenge. Many of these fraudulent schemes and coordinated online abuses are carried out through fake or pseudo accounts operating outside of Jamaica's jurisdiction. For that reason, I wish to urge the government to give serious consideration to Jamaica's accession to the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. This convention provides a proven framework for cross-border cooperation, mutual legal assistance, and the rapid exchange of digital evidence.
That's Christopher Brown, the opposition spokesman on technology. We're joined now by the Minister with responsibility for science, technology and special projects, Dr. Andrew Wheatley. Good afternoon, Dr. Wheatley.
Hey, good afternoon, Ricardo and Siobhan. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Just leaving Parliament and heading to another event, but
all right.
Giving thanks.
All right. So let's try to make it quick then. So today you opened the debate on the proposed amendments to the Cybercrimes Act. I was interested in the bit about revenge porn and artificial intelligence. Talk to our listeners about why the government thinks this is something that needs to be addressed.
Okay, so, as we embrace technology, we find persons out there who are acting maliciously, using technologies to advance and oneself and advance development in a very negative and malicious way. We have seen cases in recent times where revenge porn has caused some level of embarrassment or significant embarrassment to persons who would not normally want their personal information to be exposed out there, waking up one morning and seeing that everything is flashed all over the web without consent. And so, this amendment seeks to address that as well, and also ensure that we put in place restriction as to what the age of consent for persons to give permission for their personal information, such as intimate information, to be shared or published. So that is something that we want to cauterize and ensure that persons, anything that is of an intimate nature that is being published, outside of, the parties involved, that, explicit consent is given. As relates to artificial intelligence, it has become the norm where we now move to artificial intelligence in our everyday life, whether it is to solve a problem or, even chat GPT, you name it. Artificial intelligence is now an integral part of our lives and will become even more integral as we move to advance ourselves technologically. Now, we have also seen persons now using this advance in technology to defame persons by creating images depicting or sounding similar to persons with messages that are not usually supported by the persons that is being that's usually the target. And as such, legislation needs to be in place to protect persons' integrity, to protect persons' right to use technology without having to be fearful that someone might use it in a defamatory manner.
And Dr. Wheatley, on this matter of revenge porn and how it intersects with artificial intelligence, because I note that you stressed this during the actual debate in Parliament, that not only will the law be touching on matters of images and recordings of an intimate nature, but it will also deal with matters where where those things are generated through artificial intelligence. Do you see a concern where you could potentially be running into some freedom of speech issues there? I see where it was raised as an issue by Zuleika Jess, the justice spokesman, where she said that a person could usually use a defense and says, well, this is not an image of the actual individual. This was just generated through a computer.
Okay, so again, artificial intelligence is one that, mimics the human being.
Mm-hmm.
And freedom of expression is that we say that you must not be able to express yourself. But you cannot expressing yourself, destroy the reputation of another person. That is simply what the legislation is saying. It is illegal, without consent, to use artificial intelligence and other technologies to mimic a person's likeness without consent. Whether it's deepfake, whether through voice or in fact, we have seen in recent times a number of images, some not malicious, depicting personalities.
Yes, the Prime Minister and the opposition leader and the culture minister dancing.
Well, I'm glad that you guys mentioned.
I see some older people in the comments thinking that they are real images.
Correct.
I saw somebody saying they never know Babsy could have danced. So
there you go. So that is not infringing on one's right to freedom of expression. I believe that we have to be responsible as we use technology. We are not here to prevent persons from using technology in a very positive way. It is when you use it to cause harm to other persons, for your own benefit in particular, whether directly or indirectly. That is where the buck stops. And so, go ahead, Shava.
No, so I was going to ask you, but I should have opened the break. So let's take the break, and after the break, I'll ask you.
Order Pizza Hut online at pizzahutjamaica.com or through WhatsApp at 876-837-4488. Pizza Hut, now that's delivery. The time by Pizza Hut is...
It's 15 minutes to 6. Enjoy peace of mind knowing that your hard-earned money is protected by the JDIC. That's right, the JDIC through the Deposit Insurance Scheme guarantees up to $1.2 million of your deposits in commercial banks, merchant banks, and building societies. This means your deposits, such as your savings and checking accounts, are covered. Rest easy, knowing that your deposits are secure. Your deposits always protected. For more information, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JDICJAM or visit our website at www.jdic.org.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
KFC, my mind studying. Right now I'm thinking chicken, famous bowl. Chicken box combo and popcorn chicken, KFC on my mind. It's on my brain, great flavor, great taste like every day. Give me that price. Follow benefit the budget little bit to your pay.
The KFC value menu always has you thinking chicken. Get the chicken box combo for just $680 or get the famous bowl combo for $620 or popcorn chicken combo for $630. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. Some very important amendments being advanced in the Parliament today related to the Cyber Crimes Act and how we treat artificial intelligence, images generated by artificial intelligence, as well as the scourge, the technology minister calls it, of revenge porn. Minister, I want to follow up on something Siobhan asked you about the intersection with free speech, and you obviously outlined that this is not intended to affect people who legitimately are expressing themselves. But I wondered if the drafters and the government thinks that our current laws are keeping pace with the scale at which artificial intelligence, at the scale at which it's advancing. You think these amendments will properly capture it? Because I heard Julian Robinson saying to you that, look, because of how long it took, we're probably already behind.
I'm glad you asked that question because recently we just Cabinet approved the appointment of an artificial task force to look at generating a policy, to govern this vast, continuously evolving space of artificial intelligence, and we will be putting in place adequate legislation coming out of the work of that task force to deal with artificial intelligence, not just from a cybercrime perspective, but how we can use AI to enhance ourselves, to create opportunities. For example, we know that the BPO sector will not be the same when AI is fully on board. In fact, we are seeing evidence of changes in that sector because of AI. So we now have to retool and re-equip, retrain our people. And in so doing, we have to have, adequate legislation to support and protect at the same time. So, it is indeed something that is continuous. I must say that this report of this committee was tabled and passed in May 2023. We have quite a number of events since that time. We had Beryl, and we recently had Melissa, and it's no excuse, of course. And of course, we had 2 elections, the local government election and the recently concluded general election. So it is relatively.
Minister? Aye. All right, we've lost him, so we're going to try to reconnect. And the next thing I want to discuss with him, Siobhan, it was the point made by the Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Andrew, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, talking about the bloggers, essentially, those who are linked to the politicians, who are using the AI and the misinformation to slander people. Yeah, she did raise that. I heard her raising. I don't think I heard the minister's response to her, but I think that's also an important part of the conversation going forward.
And twinning that with the concern raised, and I think legitimately, by Dr. Alfred Dawes, that his image is being used to sell falsities and other products that are not connected to him. And I said, yes, that is a genuine concern raised by the good doctor there, because this matter, and we can deal with it in the media as well, where people use your likeness and your image to push forward an agenda, and you have nothing to do with it. And you can say, well, it's artificial intelligence, I did not put this forward, but there's still those who are going to latch on to it.
Absolutely. Minister, the question raised to you by Angela Brown-Burke about the vloggers and the bloggers and how they're using the technology to slander people. I've also noted online that there are calls for the reintroduction of things like criminal libel, and there are questions about if we can criminalize misinformation and disinformation in the digital space. As Technology Minister, have you considered these things? How do you come down on that?
Okay. These are real concerns of every single Jamaican, where a person's hide behind a computer or a device to defame, destroy the reputation of persons, to send out wrong or incorrect information for their own illicit gain. And, we will have to examine existing legislation and see where we will have to amend them to ensure that we protect our citizens. You asked the question about artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And it is something, it's very topical right now. The impact of AI, we have not begun to see the real impact. We are seeing where in the DPO sector, for example, where, the sector is evolving, where artificial intelligence are now playing some role in that sector. And we anticipate that in the very near future, that it is going to play even a more significant role in that sector. And so we recently, appointed an AI task force to create the AI policy, which of course will eventually lead to legislation that will, allow us to work or to play in that space, for want of a better word, as the world moves towards, accepting artificial intelligence in everyday life. We are there, but of course it will become even more prominent. And so AI is something that we have to embrace, and so we'll have to put in place legislation that will allow our citizens to, maximize on the opportunities that comes along with AI, but of course protect them as well, so that persons do not maliciously use technology that is meant for good to create more harm than anything else. And so we have a responsibility to ensure that the technologies that are emerging are used in a beneficial manner. And that is one of the main rule of a government, to protect its citizens, to encourage them to use technology, because that is where we are. That's where the world is going. And so we do not want them to be afraid of using the technology. We want to create a safe space for them to advance in the use of technology in their everyday life. Otherwise, they'll be left behind.
So, Minister, I suggest, based on what you're putting forward, that in short, this Cybercrimes Act, as many that it is, will find itself back before a joint select committee for further review.
Well, yes, but you see, we cannot. It's a dynamic process. The bill as it is, this amendment as it is right now, speaks to, where we are. We will have to, in short order, look at the bill, and it is not that we have to do it every 3 years as is stipulated in the legislation that was passed in 2015. But we can, as a government, as a parliament, look at what is happening in the space and make continuous amendments to any legislation that will negatively, or not even negative, just that impacts the lives of our citizens.
Yeah. Minister, there's another concern I have in terms of actually educating our people to make sense from the nonsense, because a lot of people are being misled by the artificially generated images and videos that we see in social media. And that worries me, that people are no longer able to tell what is reality, frankly. Right. And I wondered if you thought perhaps some kind of public education campaign, I'm not even sure how you would do it, but to help people, especially, for example, our seniors, because sometimes you go on the social media platforms and it's most of the seniors who are being deceived by it. Have you thought about that?
Well, we recognize that, these deepfake images and messaging that we see on social media at times come across as very real. It is something that we have to give some serious thought. Apart from, looking at public education, the truth is that persons will continue to spread propaganda, mislead the public, and, we have to now look at what is happening, not only in Jamaica, to address this issue, but in our jurisdiction. And that is where we are right now. We may have to convene a joint select committee of parliament and invite, stakeholders to participate to see how we can tackle this problem, because it affects every sector of our society, whether it is the old persons, the elderly, or it is in the business sector. We see where persons will put out some propaganda
and they're using it to scam as well. Money. Yes.
And that is it.
Yes.
And that is why, the legislation as it is, the amendments, seek to authorize the work of scammers, to ensure that the penalties are stiff enough, and also it widens the scope of their reach and how, they impact, persons. So we are also empowering the police and the prosecutors as well, especially how they treat with digital material, how they treat with the devices, you name it. Again, it is not something that is static, because these criminals are very creative.
Yes.
So as they evolve, the law must evolve as well.
Yeah.
And on that same matter of enforcement, Minister, just two ones from me to end this, I suppose. The matter of the Budapest Convention, is there a reason why today Jamaica has not ratified it?
I want to tell you something. We have gone even a step further. Just last year, October 2025, in 2025, we signed the UN Convention on Cybersecurity, which is more far-reaching and more current than the Budapest Convention. So we are signatory to that. In fact, when we drafted the 2015 Cybercrimes Act, we took out, it mirrored the Budapest Convention. But we have now gone a step further with now this UN convention that was signed until last year. Now, the principles under that convention are now about to come into play, which is even more advanced than the Budapest Convention because of the dynamic nature of the landscape.
Understood. And I don't know how well you can speak to this final thing from me. When it comes to digital forensics, how up to date is Jamaica in terms of tackling that issue of artificial intelligence and generative AI in terms of tackling crimes where someone may have used a AI generated image, or might have just pretended, say, oh, well, that's not actually me. That's AI. I didn't do it. Are we up to, in terms of up to date, as to how to tackle that?
So we continue to provide our intelligence arm of the security force and the investigative arm, with the latest technologies, through different bilateral arrangements, through own financing from the government of Jamaica. And we also train our law enforcement personnel in this space, operate in this space, to ensure that whether you directly, defame someone by using your own image or using an AI-generated image, that they will be found. They will be found because the source device that was used also leaves a footprint. So persons who believe that they cannot be caught must recognize that there's always a digital footprint. Just as there's a normal fingerprint, there's a digital footprint that will ultimately lead to the source.
Yeah. All right, Minister, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Important conversation, and we'll continue to watch the developments. Thank you. It's important. I never thought about that one. That would be an interesting defense.
I'm sure I see that going as a defense for a lot of people.
That'd be interesting.
You can't prove that is me. That might be an artificial intelligence
as the
generated image.
There's a trace, eh? We'll see. The headlines are next.
The hour was brought to you by the KFC Value Menu. Grab a chicken box, famous bowl, small popcorn chicken, or crunch sandwich today with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28, as we broadcast from the Data Privacy Conference at the University of Technology's Alfred Sangster Auditorium. The Office of the Information Commissioner, in collaboration with the University of Technology Jamaica, is set to turn the spotlight on your digital rights. This is where innovation meets protection and information meets action. Expect expert insights, lively discussions, and real talk about safeguarding your personal data in today's connected world. If data privacy matters to you, tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28. It's the Data Privacy Conference. Catch our broadcast live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or keep your dial locked on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Information Commissioner.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6 o'clock.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Dana Davey. The criminalization of revenge porn and explicit images generated by artificial intelligence is coming under proposed amendments to the Cybercrimes Act. The bill is now before the Parliament. In piloting the bill on Tuesday, Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley says the non-consensual sharing of intimate recordings is a modern scourge.
Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the clause defines intimate image to include content that is captured, generated, or created, Mr. Speaker. And I repeat that, to include content that is captured, generated, or created. Mr. Speaker, this is very important as we are now living in an artificial intelligence age. Because, Mr. Speaker, the law must protect Jamaicans not only from what a camera records, but also from what modern tools can fabricate. Mr. Speaker, we have to ensure that those who seek to hide behind a computer or a similar device cannot cause harm, malicious or otherwise, to the reputations of Jamaicans.
A joint select committee to review the Cybercrimes Act completed its work in May of 2023. It sought to update the legislation which was first passed in 2015. Minister Wheatley says the updated law will also address the rising threat of digital fraud.
Increasingly, criminals are using AI-enabled tools, synthetic voices, manipulated images, and deepfakes to make these deceptions more believable and more dangerous. This bill, Mr. Speaker, strengthens our hands against that fraud ecosystem in a very practical way. It does not merely chase the individual scammer after the money is gone. It targets the enablers, the tools, the infrastructure, and the environments that make organized cyber fraud profitable.
Dr. Andrew Wheatley, Technology Minister. The Jamaica Public Service Company JPS says it now has the full funding it needs to complete restoration works within the time required by the government. CEO of JPS Hugh Grant says the final estimate for the restoration has been revised.
So the revised and the latest estimate that we have on the restoration cost is in the order of $300 million. So that has been reduced.
JPS's Chief Financial Officer Vernon Douglas provided a breakdown as to the source of funding.
In terms of sources, 150 from the loan. The interest rate on that loan is 5.5%. It's a 5-year tenure. Those are the key terms. There's no
other fees related.
No fees. All right. Interest paid biannually starting 2026. A 1-year moratorium. In terms of other sources of funding, the EDF around 42 million. Other short-term loans from commercial lenders about 15 million, and the rest, the lion's share of that, over 125 million or thereabout, is from our cash from operations, and our investments are made from unregulated businesses, as in funds paid from our shareholders into JPS to help support our cash at this time.
Vernon Douglas, JPS's Chief Financial Officer. Meanwhile, Mr. Grant says 33,000 customers are still without power following October's passage of Hurricane Melissa.
I have some good news since we last shared this presentation. As of this morning, we're actually at 95% of our customers who have power. That means that 33,000 of our near 700,000 customers are remaining without power. That right there is as a result of the dedication, the heightened partnerships, the strong execution, and the strong planning from our team, and many thanks to all the stakeholders involved.
Hugh Grant, CEO of JPS. The PNP Women's Movement says it was unaware of sexual harassment allegations against MP for Central Westmoreland Dwayne Vaz by Councillor Julian Chang. Chang, who represents the Savannah Lamar division in the parish, told Nationwide News on Monday that she has been barred from constituency meetings after rebuffing what she says are sexual advances from the MP. The councillor says she reported the matter to the party, but no action was taken.
Have you reported this to the Secretariat, to the leadership of the PNP?
Every single thing that I have spoken to you about now, yes.
Have you sent those things in writing?
I have sent the messages to them, yes.
And what was the response you received?
I was told that an internal affairs commission would have been having a meeting with us, and to date I have not had a meet. Oh, this has been going on for almost a year now.
And no communication from the party leader or the party general secretary or any senior officer for the party?
I did try to reach out to the general secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, and I have not received a response.
Julian Chang, councillor for the Savannah Lamar division. But in a release on Tuesday, the Women's Movement says the allegations first came to their attention when it was shared with our news centre. The Women's Movement says it has since reached out to the party leadership and Councillor Chang on the matter. The movement says it's confident the PNP will empanel its independent complaints committee to ensure that the matter is properly investigated and the appropriate action taken. And attorneys representing Central Westmoreland MP Dwayne Vaz have threatened to sue Councillor Julian Chang unless she retracts what they say are false and defamatory comments which she made against him on Monday. The demand letter was issued on Tuesday by the law firm Knight, Jr. and Samuels. It says the comments made during her interview on Monday are wholly untrue and have caused serious damage to MP Vaz's reputation. The attorneys are demanding that Councillor Chang issues a public apology and retract her comments by Friday, January 30. They are demanding the retraction be published on Nationwide News.
Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Dana Davey. Sports is up next.
A tip for safe and responsible gambling. When you plan to gamble, leave your debit and credit cards at home to limit how much you spend. For information on responsible gambling, call RISE at 888-991-4146. A message from the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alwick Swaby. We both things off with some cricket as South Africa inflicted a crushing 9-wicket defeat on the West Indies in Paarl on Tuesday to jump into a 1-0 lead in their 3-match T20 international series. The hosts chased down a reasonable challenge in 174, reaching 176 for 1 with 13 balls to spare, with captain Aiden Markram leading the way with an unbeaten 86, his highest T20 score. He shared in an unbroken second wicket stand of 89 with wicketkeeper Ryan Rickleton, who made 40. Luandre Pistorius was the man dismissed. He was bowled by Ruston Chase for 44. The Windies had earlier recovered from 95 for 5 to post 173 for 7 in their 20 overs. Simon Hetmeyer made 48 off 32 balls, Ravman Paul 29 not out, and Brandon King 27 against George Lind 3 for 25 and 2 wickets each for Keshav Maharaj and Corbin Botch. Chase admitted his side fell short with the bat.
Firstly, I thought we were probably 15-20 runs short. We were initially looking for 180, 185, so I thought we were initially short in the batting. And then to start, when you bowling in the ball play, I thought that we didn't have the best of starts, and it was hard to pull back the gear from there because the batter just had to duck around the ball and they didn't have to take too much risk to keep up with the run rate after that ball play.
He says they needed to build a stronger partnership.
We need to have a bit more plans in the ball play to the batters, especially bowling ball play. And I mean, just for the batters to continue. We thought that we got starts. We had a decent start in our ball play as well, but we lost too many wickets at crucial stages. As we had the momentum going in our field, we got out and put games back into the South Africans' hands, and I think that slowed us down a lot. Losing too many wickets at crucial times slowed us down, and then obviously we didn't get to the score that we wanted.
Ruston Chase. Game 2 in the series will be on Thursday at Supersport Park in Centurion. Jamaica made a losing start to their campaign in the Cricket West Indies Regional Women's 50-over tournament, going down by 5 wickets at the Cumberland ground on Tuesday. The Jamaicans were bowled out for 76 in the 28th over, with Christiana Mackenzie, 25, offering the only real resistance in a game that got off to a late start due to rain. Asmin Monashar took 4 for 23, while Kisaya Schultz and Tremaine Marks took 2 wickets. Guyana replied with 77 for 5 in 25 overs. Jamaica will next be in action on Thursday against Barbados. At Cyan Hill, the Windward Islands beat Trinidad and Tobago by 91 runs. Alfie Fletcher 6-1, Zeta James 38, and Janela Glasgow 73 scored most runs for the Windwards as they posted 225 for 7 in their 50 overs. The Trinis were then blown away for 134 in 33 overs. Leon Kirby made 31 and Fletcher took 4 for 23, while Barbados beat the Leeward Islands by 79 runs at Park Hill. Nanjian Cumberbatch top scored with Barbados with 74 in their 144 all-out against Shanisha Hector, 4 for 19. The Leewards then crumbled to 65 all-out in 22 overs, with Shamila Connell taking 4 for 17. And the West Indies will face Australia in a high-stakes Super 6 encounter at the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup at the Harare Sports Club in Zimbabwe on Wednesday morning, Jamaica time, starting at 2:30. The 2016 champions, West Indies, are currently 4th in Group 1 with 4 points and must beat the unbeaten Aussies to be sure of a place in the last 4. Afghanistan, who topped the West Indies preliminary round group, are also on contention for a semi-final spot and will all but confirm their place if they beat Ireland also on Wednesday morning. Third place Sri Lanka are meeting South Africa at the same time and could capitalize on any slip by West Indies or Afghanistan. Now to football, as Anthony Patrick, head coach of Jamaica Premier League outfit Racing United, explained that based on how last season went, he's pleased with staying in the upper half of the league and stay far from what he expects to be a mad rush for potential playoff positions later on in the season.
Yeah, definitely. We look at some teams that we target. We definitely, last year we shot by 7 points. When you look at the Waterhouse and Timberlake, those two teams are in front of us. We want to make sure that don't happen this time around. But, the good thing that we keep getting points from the top teams, we say we want points from them and we get 10 points. But team them, below, we still not getting maximum points. We still getting some 1 point. But definitely, we just have to continue. So continue, hope for the best.
Racing United are currently sitting in second in the league, 7 points behind the leaders Montego Bay United, while they have only tasted defeat once this season. Of their 20 games played, 11 are drawn results. According to Patrick, he's remaining patient with the young players that he has in his ranks. He is also hopeful that senior player Nickel Ellis will get back to his unusual best in short order.
We just have to continue work. There's nothing else we can do. We just have to continue work with the youngsters that we have. So this is what we want to do, to blood the youngsters them early and give them some games, still have a few more, to blood. But definitely, just want when them get the opportunity, let's grasp with both hands and play. Definitely, I think he's a bit off from last season, but he's coming back and he's doing well. And this is a hope. I hope in the last 2 games he get 2 goals, so that is very, very important. He just have to continue, progress going forward.
Anthony Patrick. Now, President of Spain's Football Federation, Rafael Luzan, says the 2030 Men's World Cup final will be held in Spain. Spain, Portugal and Morocco are co-hosting the tournament, while the opening 3 matches will be played in Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay to mark the competition's 100th anniversary. Morocco has expressed interest in staging the final, but Luzan says Spain has proven its organizational capacity over many years. Real Madrid's Bernabeu Stadium and Barcelona's Nou Camp are viewed as the leading candidates to host the match, but Luzon provided no further details. Now to track and field, as former Canadian sprinter Donovan Bailey explained that he's pleased to see the return of Jamaica's Brianna Liston to the track. Over the weekend, Liston competed at the New Balance indoor meet in Boston, where she finished second behind Deanna Asher-Smith in the women's 60 meters. According to Bailey, he wasn't surprised that Asher-Smith won the race.
The number one thing for me, I was very happy to see her compete and finish the race and not be hurt. Dina's a veteran, bro. I mean, regardless of how you look, Dina's a veteran, and you see her race. She's Brianna doesn't do a lot of indoor running, and you can see that. And with Dina, just on her body, just on her foot placement, her first 30 meters out of the blocks, yeah, I mean, she's ready to go to World Indoors. You know what I mean? So again, watching the race itself, no surprise that Dina won.
Liston is a former 200 meters gold medalist from the 2022 World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Cali, Colombia. For Bailey, Liston forms part of the young wave of Jamaican sprinters.
You have a young lady that has, who is incredibly talented and definitely needs to be part of the new wave, with the Queen Shelly-Ann retiring and Elaine coming back and Sharika there, and also the Clayton twins as well as Jones. She's definitely the new wave of the Jamaicans, or the expectations is. She's the new wave of the Jamaicans, the ladies, that's going to be dominant. So
Donovan Bailey, he was speaking on the Mr. Analyst podcast. And finally, in tennis, America's tennis star Coco Gauff is calling for more player privacy after the 21-year-old was captured smashing her racket following a quarterfinal exit to Ukraine's Elena Svitolina at the Australian Open. Gauff lost 6-1, 6-2 and added that while it's part of the game for players to show their emotions, not everything needs to be televised.
Yeah, I tried to go somewhere where there's no cameras. I kind of feel like I have a thing with the broadcast. I feel like certain moments, the same thing happened to Irina after I played her final US Open. I feel like they don't need to broadcast. I tried to go somewhere where I thought there wasn't a camera because I don't necessarily like breaking rackets, but I lost 1 and 2. I broke 1 racket on quarters, I think, or round of 16 of French Open, I think. And I said I would never do it again on court because I don't feel like that's a good representation. But yeah, I tried to go somewhere where they wouldn't broadcast it, but obviously they did.
According to Gauff, at this current tournament, the Australian Open, privacy for players has been a topical issue.
The only private place we have is the locker room. Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I know myself and I don't want to lash out my team. They're good people. They don't deserve that. And I know I'm emotional. So yeah, I just took the minute to go and do that. And yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, I don't try to do it on court in front of kids and things like that. But I do know I need to let out that emotion. Otherwise, I'm just going to be snappy with the people around me. And I don't want to do that because, like I said, they don't deserve it. They did their best. I did mine. Just need to let the frustration out.
Coco Gauff. I'm Alric Swiby, and that's your sports.
Managing your investments with Sagicor is now easy as ever. You can fund stocks, repos, and do more seamlessly. Even get a clear overview of your portfolio performance on the enhanced Sagicor eBank platform. Want to experience effortless investment banking on Sagicor eBank? It's as easy as ever. Contact your Sagicor Investment Wealth Advisor today and update your personal information for access. Call 888-SAGICOR or visit sagicor.com for more information.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28, as we broadcast from the Data Privacy Conference at the University of Technology's Alfred Sangster Auditorium. The Office of the Information Commissioner, in collaboration with the University of Technology Jamaica, is set to turn the spotlight on your digital rights. This is where innovation meets protection and information meets action. Expect expert insights, lively discussions, and real talk about safeguarding your personal data in today's connected world. If data privacy matters to you, tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28. It's the Data Privacy Conference. Catch our broadcast live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or keep your dial locked on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Information Commissioner.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section.
This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Exciting news! The Design Studio on Nationwide 90 FM just got a whole lot bigger. Join us this and every Saturday now from 1 to 3 p.m. for an exclusive show that elevates your home, mind, and soul. Discover the latest interior design trends to create your dream sanctuary. Unlock your true potential with personal growth strategies. Nourish your body and spirit with expert wellness tips. Don't miss out on the inspiration you need to live your best life. Tune in to the Design Studio this and every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. and take the first step towards a more fulfilling you.
It's Monday. Get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
The E-Zone is here for you.
With the Stinger Honeybee
And Karim Boyatings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. Why you say?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brainbusters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezoneblindates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblindates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions.
Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow. Ow.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robeanne Williams. A special one to our friends on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. We ask you to weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. So we're turning attention to probably the workplace, on the street, online. We're talking about sexual harassment, and it's a ongoing conversation that, we can't ignore. So we're asking in Public Opinion this evening, is there a sexual harassment problem in Jamaica? Answering that question on Facebook, Audley Phillips starts off by saying there's a prevalent sexual harassment problem, not just in Jamaica, but all over, and most women believe that they have to accept it in order to keep their jobs, and they are fearful of the repercussions of embarrassing politicians and other powerful men, so most of them, they keep quiet. Georgina Brightson is saying nothing new under the sun. Jay Stefano, yes, but because we kind of normalize the aggressive sexual behavior, it has become the norm. Kaylee Hyman is saying yes, from Salfish, a shingle stop. I love my responders. They have the craziest proverbs. I've never heard this one before. From Salfish, a shingle stop. Okay. Donald O'Mealy says, from creation, nothing new. Some genuine, some fake, some get to traction. Okay, so he's saying some are genuine and some are fake. They're fake to get traction. George Elliott saying yes, more than we know, and the present allegations concerning a politician is a case in point. Nicola Nicholson says, oh yes, very prevalent at church, school, work, street side. Don't get me started on the street side. I'm on a drive and him come and wind on him window. Psst, baby. And he says all manner of evil towards us as women. Shanique Simpson says most definitely. Mel Boo says yes. Chevanese Hutchinson, there is, and we have normalized it. Yeah. There is a sexual harassment problem in Jamaica, and Chevanese is saying that we have normalized it. Colbert Golby, he's saying no. If you're interested in a lady and they're not interested because you're not their type, they say you're sexually harassing them. Well, if she says no and you continuously go at it, then, you know. But to each his own. Martha says from time... From immemorial. Okay. Rosalind Buck says yes, there is. Eunice says yes. Winston says yes. And enough of the man them where sexually harass the woman them can't even stand up to do anything. Cheryl Griffith says from Wapi Unalive Philo. Okay. If you're just joining us, we're inside the court of public opinion. We're asking you, is there a sexual harassment problem in Jamaica, whether it be online, whether it be in person, workplace, on the streets? Is there a sexual harassment problem in Jamaica? On X, J Brown says yes. Barry White says it is in every aspect of our system, in our schools, college, politics, in the private sector, public sector, the police force, and even in the church. He's saying that is how bad it is. Yeah. Level Up on Instagram says yes. Little and Tiny says yes, but only if the man or woman not like you. The results may vary. It's a very ticklish question that we ask in our public opinion this evening, because many will say that it is skewed towards it's skewed towards female, it's skewed towards male, and we're only saying that, you know, things happen on the male's end, and only the female, you know, allege these things. But yeah, it goes both ways. D. Bardley says yes. Sparta says yes, but me get used to it. I missed it when I'm away. What? Jay says, of course. Yeah. And I saw this thing on online where it says when you leave Jamaica, nobody calls to you. Like when you're in the street and you're walking, ain't nobody gonna tell you, say, yes, you look good, or ain't nobody gonna tell you or call to you and say, baby mother, do all manner of evil against to you and whatnot. Is when you come to Jamaica, you hear all these things. I saw something online. Anthony Williams says yes, it goes both ways. Let me see if I can get more of these opinions. Villa says, I'm a country girl and you don't know about selfish. No, me don't know about it, none at all, Villa. Don't know about it. Howard French says yes, most definitely. Women feel it the most. If you have respect, you have to respect yourself, you wouldn't cross that imaginary line. Grace Price says yes, a lot of people hide it. It depends on who. Jamaicans hide it when people in high places involve people keep their mouth shut. Killian Henry says yes. When women... What's this you're referring to? When women harass me and may refuse. Oh, when you're saying when women harass me and get refused, they call me homosexual. That's coming... Okay, I get that point. Sexual harassment, child molestation by family members, troubling issue in Jamaica, says Valentina. Let me see. When women harass me and get... Okay, Ricardo, I read yours. Let me see. Greetings to each and everybody on our YouTube platform. I'm scrolling through to see the comments. I don't know when I leave Jamaica over a decade and a half now. I keep... Okay, that's unrelated. Major, yes, that's coming from Debbie Anford. You know, I'd love to hear, if we had like a call-in program or something, I'd love to hear some of the experience, not only of women, but these things normally happen to women on the streets. Men just call to you and they feel the need to explain all they would do to you without no filter on their mouth. Yeah? Yeah. Sharon says nothing genuine about sexual, nothing at all. Of course, pretty much part of the culture, says Eview. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Maxine says, yes, I think a bill must pass in Parliament about sexual... We do have a sexual harassment bill. Michael Wright says, let me tell you, it has been everywhere. US, England, Jamaica, everywhere. It depends on the person. If the person don't like you, he will report you. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Yes, from Potter's wife, make after Joseph in the Bible. That's coming from Marigold. Yes, it goes both ways. And we should highlight that it goes both ways, because sometimes women may approach someone, a man that they think, they like, and he doesn't want to take the advances. That's also in the case, sexual harassment. Isa Mario, it is a deep social issue. A little sex, me just a look. It's a cultural thing, Isa Mario says. What I'm hearing is that we the people have normalized things. That's what I'm hearing. Sharon Finley is saying, yes, not just Jamaica. If you look at the definition of sexual harassment, if the advances are unwanted, it is harassment. Quid pro quo is most common. And that's what I'm saying, And it goes both ways. You can go to a man and he doesn't necessarily want to take your advances. Competent Corrine says, whenever I hear a little sex, I shake my head. Why would anybody want? Okay. Long time this has been going on, especially in the workplace or even in the church, says Orinthia Campbell. Let me see if I can get Josephine. Yes, it goes both ways. A compliment is different from a talk. Okay, yeah, because, some men, when they see us women on the street and we look lookable in terms of we present ourselves in a presentable manner, something of that sort, they call to us and say, you look good. I, for one, whenever it is that somebody says, you look nice, I say thanks, I'm a walk past. But when they go to the extent of telling you all manner of evil that they would do, then it crosses the line. I mean, a compliment is a compliment, and you can say thanks. If you don't want to say thanks, then if you don't want to say thanks in Jamaica, the men will then continue to say a bag of things. And I know me, I beg you. You think I know me, I ask you for? Yeah, man, we get them. We get them. Frank White says, yes, from social media to walking beside a woman. Let me see. Long time this has been happening, Orinthia says. Long time. Simple say thanks. It's a compliment, it's a compliment. It's different. Yeah. It's different. If you're telling somebody that they look nice, you know what I hate? I hate when anybody psst off of me. I hate it. Me no answer. If you want to tell a woman or a man that he or she looks nice, you can do it in a very respectful way, Do it in a very respectful way. Let me say the boundaries. Isa Mario, yes, the boundaries. I don't like the catcalling, none at all. I'm not for that. I'm not going to answer you any at all. Yeah? And don't tell, no, Delroy, no. When you don't tell somebody that you love them. Oh, you don't know me to love me in a sense, So seeing someone on the street, boy, baby, I love you, I love you off. You're using the word love loosely right there. Bogue says respect is key, and for sure it is. So, gentlemen, women, be respectful in your approach and don't let it cross that very thin line. Thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:36. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. TikTok has reached a settlement to avoid it being involved in a landmark social media addiction trial. A matter of hours before jury selection was due to begin in California, the plaintiff, a 20-year-old woman identified by the initials KGM, alleges the design of platform's algorithms left her addicted to social media and negatively affected her mental health. The parties are pleased to have reached an amicable resolution of the dispute, the Social Media Victims Law Center said of the TikTok settlement, adding the terms were confidential. The defendants now include Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, as well as YouTube and parent Google. Snapchat settled with the plaintiff last week. In the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 157 Jamaican dollars and 58 cents to buy $1 US, 214 Jamaican dollars and 82 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 114 Jamaican dollars and 55 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
It's time for Hot Listings, Nationwide 90 FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
Organized Living JA offers smart cabinetry and closet solutions, walk-in, reach-in, and in-room closets. Modular closet sections are in stock and quick to install. For more information, send a DM on Instagram or email orglivjm.com. That's orglivjm.com. Open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Airbnb, just 5 minutes from Norman Manley Airport. Enjoy a 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom home or book individual rooms. Features include air conditioning, hot water, a full kitchen and kitchenette, Wi-Fi, comfortable beds, and on-site parking. Perfect for families, groups, or quick overnight stays. Call or WhatsApp us on 876-570-0408. That's 876-570-0408. Hairdresser services available at Touched by Bella. Appointments from 8 a.m. Monday to Saturday at 26 Northside Plaza, shop number 5. Valentine's special, free shampoo and treatment with your service. For island twists, natural twists, knotless braids, locks, boho knotless, cornrows, ponytails, and more, call or WhatsApp 876-513-9082. That's 876-513-9082.
That was Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM. Listings start as low as $1,500. Call 876-630-1210 to book yours today.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You send it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
Good evening, listeners. Welcome back. It's time for the nation's business. But before we get into that proper, we do have with us some news coming in. Attorneys representing Central Westmoreland MP Dwayne Vaz have threatened to sue Councillor Julian Chang unless she retracts what they say are false and defamatory comments she made against him on Monday. The councillor has accused the sitting Member of Parliament of sexual harassment. He denies the allegations. The demand letter was issued on Tuesday by the law firm Knight, Jr. and Samuels. Well, to discuss this further, we are now joined by one of the MP Vaz's attorneys. That's Bert Samuels. Good evening, Sir Samuels.
Good evening. Good to be with you.
Good evening. It's good to hear from you as well. So, Mr. Samuels, what has been the instructions given to your firm by your client, that's Dwayne Vaz, in relation to Julian Chang's allegations?
Well, I think I did send a copy to Nationwide because you published what we call the defamatory comments. And in that letter, we wrote to her telling her that she made a lot of falsehoods against the Member of Parliament. We're asking her to withdraw them. Numerally, I would say the first was that she said that there was sexual harassment of her. She complained and spoke about it for the first time in our instruction 10 months later and gave some excuse why she did not speak about it before. But we know it is his victory in the elections that has caused her to be in the political wilderness because she was giving her support to his opponent, and his having won, she was removed from the divisional as chairman of the division by an election by the members. And she's blaming that on your program that he removed her. It was an election which she attended, that she was not even nominated because based on her conduct, there's a loss of confidence in her as a supporter of the People's National Party.
And let's start with the most serious of those allegations, the ones regarding sexual harassment. She did provide, as you said, they were old, but WhatsApp messages of a questionable nature in terms of the interactions between her and the Member of Parliament. Has the MP given an account of those WhatsApp messages?
Well, I must tell you that when she said that he had a dream, she encouraged him to tell her what the dream was. And in the WhatsApp exchange, when she told her, she did not say it is inappropriate. She did not say, please don't say these things. And it was a dream that he said that he had. Now, if she had reprimanded him or made any comment to show that she was displeased, it's different. You see, adults must know that if a person makes a sexual advancement on you and you entertain it, that's not harassment. And we don't think that the dream amounted to that. But all she said is, were you drunk? She didn't go any further. Neither did he take it any further. He had no interest in as it were, living the dream or continuing with it. So that when I heard the interview last night, I was listening for more. There was nothing else coming. She has now sought to make it in sexual harassment retroactively to make out a case that he's been vindictive because he did not get his way with her. No, he didn't get his way with her. It's just a figment of her imagination. Further, she said that she didn't know that he was a married man. No, this is her political colleague. He got married in 2024. He wears a wedding band. And she comes to tell you she didn't know that he was married. That's how you know when people are promoting a falsehood, when they go on other issues and find it necessary to lie.
And further to that, though, Mr. Samuels, you're suggesting, based on what you're saying here, that was the only interaction that would be considered of a sexual nature between them, because Ms. Chang would suggest that this was not just, this was a pattern of behavior, not just a single instance.
Yeah, because when you probed her yesterday, the only example she gave was a screenshot of a dream. She was not able to tell you the contents of any other conduct that amounted to sexual harassment. The law says it's easy for someone to allege that you are sexually molesting them. Anyone can go and say that. So what the law looks for is material that amounts to that. And whether you condoned it, that's different, because adults can consent. And listen, your silence sometimes means that you're consenting. Or if you said, were you drunk? It means you must at least put your foot. She's a married woman. If she was offended by this joke, then she should have said, who are you talking to? I have my husband. Don't do this. Nothing like that came from her. It came from her because he has won the election.
But certainly, Mr. Simons, as I said, you are defending your client as is expected, and your client has given you instructions.
I'm defending truth. I'm defending
very well. But what about the power dynamic at play? He is the MP, she's a councillor, and the concerns and political risks at play in this scenario. Don't you think that provides a certain explanation as to why she may have waited before putting forward these allegations?
Oh, that's a beautiful speculation. I mean, the power, I guess any member of staff at my workplace who is lower than me can always run for the power dynamics and all that kind of thing. What we want is tangible evidence, and that's absent.
Understood. Then what about the allegation put forward by your client, which I think you substantiated today, to suggest that she was working against his campaign during the general election? Does he have proof to substantiate that?
Well, I tell you this. She was not even nominated to come back to be president of the division. And that speaks volumes. That she has lost her credibility with the party. No, she didn't even take the matter to the women's movement. You know, she didn't seek to have this sexual harassment determined within the party. It is what you call her finding herself in the political wilderness. She should have brought it to the women in the party to resolve it. And she told you last night that she told everyone. And when she was pressed further, she said, oh, I didn't tell the women's group. So the women's group doesn't come into everyone?
But she did suggest that she informed the central executive, including the general secretary. I don't understand fully the internal workings of the People's National Party as to the proper authority, but one would think that the general secretary having knowledge of such a event would be substantial enough.
Yeah, but one would think that empathy would come from the women's movement, and that's where she should go firstly, because she's going to men. And I think that it's best if she went to the women in the party to make this. I would be more comfortable were a female to go to the women's movement and make this, because they would have the empathy that is needed. So she goes to power. What she should go to is a gender that would be empathetic with her.
Okay, but I think she said that it didn't come to her mind to go to that angle. Do you think that's an unreasonable thing under the circumstances? She went to what she believes to be the constituted authority, the general secretary.
Well, I think a girl of tender years could be excused by that, but I think a grown married woman knows that she can go to her party's women's movement and get this matter addressed.
Understood, Mr. Savas. I'm sure we could. I ask you then, just as a final follow-up, what is the intention of your client if she does not follow through with your request for an apology?
We have given her until Friday to withdraw her statement that she was removed as chairman by him of the division because there was an election, so she lied on that. We give her until Friday to admit that she was not being sexually harassed, and we give her until Friday to retract all of those lies against the member of parliament. It is his victory in the polls that has caused her to be cast in the political wilderness. She's the creator of her own demise politically.
Understood. That is Bert Samuels. He is an attorney representing Central Westmoreland MP Dwayne Vaz. Thank you for your time, Mr. Samuels. All the best.
Okay, all the best.
Have a good evening. We take a short break, listeners, and come back with more.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Welcome back, listeners. Now to the substantive matter of the evening. We have with us the Jamaica Public Service Company, which says it now has the full funding it needs to complete restoration works within the time required by the government. The executives of the Light and Power Company clarified the full cost and scope of the effort at Tuesday's sitting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC. The company has also revealed that it has revised the total cost of the restoration works. Opposition leader Mark Golding has criticized Energy Minister, that's Darrell Vaz, for only giving JPS $150 million after initially suggesting the total amount needed for restoration was $350 million. The question was raised by South St. James MP Nikisha Burchell and followed up by PAAC Chairman Peter Bunting. However, JPS CEO, that's Hugh Grant, explained that final estimates for the restoration has been revised downward to $300 million. That's $50 million less than the initial anticipated.
My question, and the question I get from constituents, is who ultimately pays for this investment? How much of this cost will be absorbed by JPS versus what do you intend to recover from extra tariffs from the customers who usually bear the brunt of these kinds of investments and expenses? Who pays? Will it be the customers? And how much should they be bracing for?
So, Mr. Grant, just before you respond, there was some uncertainty when we were dealing with this matter. First of all, what was the size of the loan? Because the figure had been all over the place. So if you could just give us what was the final loan that you received? What are the terms? Was there an origination fee? And how that impacts your capacity to complete the restoration?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll just finish up on the second part of your question in terms of the overall cost and what are we restoring to. We're restoring primarily to like in kind, but build in some elements of resilience, like having the Polcrete, the expanding foam, and then in some areas, particularly along the transmission corridors, we're looking to use composite poles instead of wooden poles that can elevate the rating closer to, say, a category 5, but that's really selective. But for the greater part of the restoration, in the interest of time, you're sort of restoring with like in kind, because frankly, to build in these resilient components, there are long lead times on these materials, north of 6 months to a year on many of them. So it's on a go-forward basis that we look to have that in our plan. And frankly, we have already integrated that in our overall profile with our resiliency component in terms of how we operate the business. So that takes care of that. As in terms of the loan and the numbers, I'll speak to that a bit, and then I'll have Vernon, my CFO, chimed in. So the revised and the latest estimate that we have on the restoration cost is in the order of $300 million. So that has been reduced. That $300 million.
That was, the original estimate was 450. Was that? You said it has been reduced to 300. What was the original estimate?
I mean, we had it in the order of, say...
I know there were various estimates.
Yeah. So I would just... I think right now, I know where we're at 300, based on where we're at and the progress we're at. So I think that's the key number.
That's Hugh Grant. He's the CEO of JPS. Well, as to the source of funding, JPS's Chief Financial Officer, Vernon Douglas, provided a breakdown including not only the government's loan, but the additional funding secured from JPS's investors and cash from other sources.
As you outlined, so in terms of uses of funds, we have approximately, around 340 million in terms of outflows relating to Melissa. 300 in core infrastructure spend and about an incremental 40 million in working capital. What are the unappreciated elements? That part of the response and support we provide is that we have deferred payments of bills to customers which you have to fund. And we subsidize some of that during this time as part of the efforts to help customers get on their feet. And that's around $40 million in terms of that element. In terms of sources, 150 from the loan. The interest rate on that loan is 5.5%. It's a 5-year tenure. Those are the key terms. There's no other fees related. No fees. All right. An interest paid biannually starting 2026, a 1-year moratorium. In terms of other sources of funding, the EDF around 42 million, the other short-term loans from commercial lenders about 15 million, and the rest, the lion's share of that, over 125 million or thereabout, is from our cash from operations and our investments are made from unregulated businesses, as in funds paid from our shareholders into JPS to help support our cash at this time. Okay, so when you say the 40 million to support working capital, for example, could you just give the committee members a sense? JPS's revenue is X. A percentage of that basically flows straight through to the power generating companies. Absolutely. A percentage of that goes to the Ministry of Finance as GCT. Yeah. So we don't have a good sense of what is left to run the distribution or the transmission and distribution network and all the other commercial and administrative operations monthly. So that would that 40 million represent 1 month's working capital, an additional month's working capital, 6 weeks? Would that, I'm just trying to get a sense of that. Yeah, so that 40 million would be a additional working capital that we would have had to deploy as a result of lower collections, both deliberately, meaning we offer support to our customers and we anticipated. So for example, if we are billed, to your example, Chair, $10 for the power that was sold to us by independent power producer, we know out of a combination of A, we would have actually reduced that cost in December to 80, so that's $20. And we also knew that given the general economic condition of our customers, to expect that not everyone will pay on time in full, and we also would have extended that, okay, we will not be disconnecting you. So we would have suffered an additional 20 million or $20, this example. Hence, you have $40 short to pay that
$10 that you owed that IPP. So that means that that's cash that we were out of pocket.
Thank you. But just coming back to my example, if JPS, I'm not up to date on what JPS billing is, but let's say it's $1 billion US dollars, or you can correct me what the exact figure is. But what portion of that billion, including GCT, so some would go, GCT would go to the government, and a percentage would go to the private power generator. In a sense, almost a pass-through. You do the billing and collection. I'm just trying to get what percentage would you be left with in your hand?
Approximately 70% or thereabouts of our pass-through costs.
That's Vernon Douglas. He's the Chief Financial Officer at the Jamaica Public Service Company. Well, the JPS CEO also says they've achieved 95% restoration of its network so far, and the company has also laid the foundation to build greater resilience to natural disasters. He says this has already been integrated into the company's operational plans going forward.
I have some good news since we last shared this presentation. As of this morning, we're actually at 95% of our customers who have power. That means that 33,000 of our near 700,000 customers are remaining without power. That right there is as a result of the dedication, the heightened partnerships, the strong execution, and the strong planning from our team, and many thanks to all the stakeholders involved. The key thing here also, as you look on this particular slide, as we talk about accelerated restoration, is if you go from the east going to the west, you see lots of white. That means that in the eastern and central part of the island, we have restored more than 99% of customers in those parishes. So the eastern and central part of the island is normalized. As you go towards the west, the 5 remaining parishes, that's where you're now seeing some blue. And of those parishes, I'm pleased to share that Hanover has 97% restoration, Trelawney 98% restoration, St. James, where you see some blue, is at 92%. And St. James is unique because one of the things that we did in St. James is, given its importance to the economy, the tourism belt, and unlocking and stimulating that economic growth, and a special ask from the Prime Minister that by December 15th, he wanted critical areas along that tourism belt restored. We had prioritized that, and we delivered on that prior to December 15th. Moving now to the west, we see whereby Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, they have some blue, and that's due to the catastrophic damage on the grid in those areas, and also the significant damage to many of the homes and businesses in that area that frankly also are not ready to receive power. So in Westmoreland, we are more than 60% restored in terms of the customers, and in St. Elizabeth, we are above 70% restored in terms of the customers at this stage in the restoration process. In the middle, you see whereby 1 month after, we had 80%. And now that we're at the 3-month mark, we have 94%. What you're seeing in terms of the slowing of the percentages there is the phenomena of the last mile that you'll hear more about, whereby you reach a point in the restoration where you're doing a lot more work to get a lot less customers back due to the catastrophic damage and also due to how sparsely populated some of these areas are. As I go to the next slide, here you're seeing Category 5 Hurricane Melissa and its impact on Jamaica, whereby again 23% of customers remain in service after the passing. That's 77% that lost power. Then you're also seeing whereby we are putting some more detailed description around what did the damage to both the transmission and distribution network look like. And I'll just speak a little bit in terms of the transmission network is the backbone of the system. And through the transmission network, you then supply power to the distribution network. The transmission in order of reference is our high voltage network, whereby we have voltages up to 138,000 volts. That's more than 1,000 times what you have in your homes typically, which is 120 volts. And then our distribution network, you have in the order of 24,000 volts. So what we're seeing is across the transmission and distribution, we have approximately 85,000 occurrences of damage, a significant portion of which are downed and damaged poles just due to the catastrophic nature and the sustained winds of Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. And I want to remind us here that our grid is designed for a Category 3 hurricane, and it faced a Category 5 hurricane. So with that, as we go through the presentation, you'll hear some things into what we're doing differently to, as best as possible, build back with resilience, and more to come as we go forward on that. You're seeing whereby we have in the order of 40,000 poles that were damaged, and over 1,400 miles of lines were also damaged.
That's Hugh Grant. He is the CEO of the Jamaica Public Service Company. Well, listeners, we take a break and then we come back with more.
On October 28, 2025, Hurricane Melissa devastated Jamaica. But your government is mobilizing, reaching every community, delivering relief, and rebuilding together. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is...
Preston.
It's 8 minutes after 7.
Managing your investments with Sagicor is now easy as ever. You can fund stocks, repos, and do more seamlessly. Even get a clear overview of your portfolio performance on the enhanced Sagicor eBank platform. Want to experience effortless investment banking on Sagicor eBank? It's as easy as ever. Contact your Sagicor Investment Wealth Advisor today and update your personal information for access. Call 888-SAGICOR or visit sagicor.com for more information.
Draxall Creative Building Finishes is here. Explore Jamaica's best styles, bathrooms and kitchens in our brand new showroom at Unit 4, 14 Drax Business Center, Draxall Creative Building Finishes. Your beautiful finish begins here.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 noon with a repeat at 6 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Every day brings its own pressure. Noise, bills, stress. The things that weigh us down and affect our well-being. That's why Nationwide 90 FM has created Wellness, a daily program designed to guide your focus on your physical, mental, emotional, and financial health. Real conversations, trusted experts, practical advice. No judgment and no quick fixes. Just meaningful steps towards better living. Wellness, weeknights from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Only on Nationwide 90 FM. Because progress is a process. It happens one day at a time.
January is Earthquake Awareness Month.
We're having an earthquake.
And Nationwide 90 FM is shaking things up in a powerful way.
Oh, God.
all month long. NNN is rolling out earthquake awareness segments in Nationwide This Morning, Cliffviews Online, E-Zone, and Nationwide at 5. We're turning vital safety information into must-hear radio, debunking myths, and giving you tips from experts that can help to save lives. We are bringing preparedness straight to the people. Yeah, man, I hate that. We're here to inform, educate, and empower Jamaicans to stay ready, stay alert, and stay safe. Because when the ground moves, knowledge matters. Never lose your cool again when an earthquake hits. Tune in to Nationwide This Morning, Cliffviews Online, E-Zone, and Nationwide at 5 to learn, prepare, and protect what matters most.
Against all odds, coming soon to Nationwide 90 FM. Join us as we relive compelling sports stories about the agony of defeat.
I don't blame anyone. As I said, I'm the captain of the Australian team. It's on my watch and I take responsibility.
The jubilation of success.
I've dedicated all my life to being the best and to being the best track and field person I can possibly be. Trying to be a legend, trying to be the greatest, trying to be unstoppable.
And the roller coaster ride that sports carries.
I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Against all odds. Coming soon to Nationwide 90 FM.
Minutes after 7, you're tuned in to Nationwide at 5, and we're going to a scholarship program now that's being launched at the UWI Mona. It's being launched by the Aston Preston Hall. It's called the Preston Scholarship Fund, and it's a student-led initiative designed to assist residents facing financial hardship that may prevent them from remaining in university housing. The fund seeks to raise $500,000 to support 10 students at risk of housing insecurity ahead of the next academic year. As the cost of living continues to rise, the initiative adds a student-centered perspective to ongoing national conversations around education access, equity, and youth development. Joining us now to discuss further, the External Affairs Chairperson at Aston Preston Hall, Dejanae Fagan, and we are to be joined by the Deputy Hall Chairman of the Hall, Sean Palmer. Let's start with you, Dejanae. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. So tell me about this Preston Scholarship Fund.
Okay, good evening again, everyone. As aforementioned, I am Dejanae Fagan, the External Affairs Chairperson for the Aston Preston Hall, and I'm here with my colleague.
I'm Sean Palmer, the Deputy Hall Chairman.
Okay, so we are guided by the motto of the relentless pursuit of excellence. However, in recent times, this pursuit of excellence is threatened by rising housing costs. Therefore, as we celebrate our Pearl anniversary, we decided that we are going to create a scholarship fund wherein we raise $500,000 to assist residents on Hall for the upcoming academic year with their residence fees. The External Affairs Committee is guided by the motto, creating ripple effects. Tiny actions accumulate to large-scale impact. So if it is that everyone contributes just a small amount of money, then that small amount will accumulate to not just a donation towards hall fees, but an investment in the future of our residents here at Preston Hall. So this is a student-led initiative that aims to help alleviate some of these housing costs for the upcoming year.
And Sean Palmer, talk to me about what inspired the launch of the initiative.
So what inspired this is just basically our space. So we operate under the mantra of one band, one sound. So we as student leaders, we believe that it is imperative for us not to just be in a space, but to really see how best we can impact that space. And so we wanted to really give back to our peers. And so the EAC, through our EAC, would have conceptualized this project.
And this matter of housing insecurity, how serious is it for UWI Mona students? Are students generally finding it difficult to find accommodation?
it's not a matter of finding accommodation. It's just a matter of paying for it. As we know, even with the recent passing of Hurricane Melissa, a lot of people would have lost their houses. A lot of people would have lost a lot of things. And so with these increasing circumstances, with these insinuating circumstances, there's a greater need within our campus, and especially within our space of Preston.
And Dijane, how will you decide the value of the scholarship? How do people qualify? Is it just if I can't afford it, or are there any other criteria? Dijane? All right, so we're having a little connection challenge. We're talking to two student leaders at Aston Preston Hall at UWI Mona. They've launched a scholarship fund to assist students to fund their housing needs. Dijane, did you hear the question?
No, we did not. We lost connection for a moment.
All right, so I was asking you, how will you determine how much, the value of the scholarship, and how do people qualify? Is it just solely based on inability to afford the accommodation?
Okay, so it's not solely inability to afford accommodation, but that will definitely be a very key factor that we focus on. Of course, like other scholarships, you have to have a certain GPA that shows that you are focused on your academics and you are investing into your future. That is the reason why we will invest in you. And of course, they will have to prove that they have been accepted to live on the hall during the academic year for the scholarship.
And the fund, how do people pay into the fund?
How do people pay into the fund? So donations can be made to the UWI general account at the National Commercial Bank, the University branch, account number 402-602-392. That is 402-602-392. Persons are to name the transaction Preston Scholarship Fund for tracking purposes, of course, and email their receipt to eac.azph@gmail.com. And in case you missed that information, you can always visit our social media page, AZ Preston Hall. That is AZPrestonHall.
Do you have go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I just remember the second part of your first question.
Yes.
You asked how would we determine how much is given to each student.
Right.
So, say, for example, we meet our target of $500,000, then we would be donating $50,000 to 10 students. Should we exceed that target, depending on the amount that we exceed it by, we will try to pump out more $50,000 toward resident fees.
Do you have a target, a fundraising target?
Yes, at least $500,000.
Oh.
Jamaica.
Oh, you're rich. You want to rich out, man, DJ. $500,000 is what they're targeting. In terms of, is it an application or do you identify the students?
So there will, of course, be an application that is launched as soon as we meet our initial targets. And the criteria for the scholarship will be outlined in that application form, as well as key questions surrounding the student's GPA and why exactly they need the scholarship and why they should be afforded or awarded the scholarship.
Yeah. And Sean, for students who may be struggling and they may be hesitant to ask for help, what do you say to them?
So that's one of the beautiful things about our hall. So it's not just a place where persons live. It's not just where we're scattered all over the place. It's one family. And we pride ourselves on being family oriented. And so but we will do the different promotional activities to promote the scholarship. But we'll also do a hall walk to encourage persons to sign up, to say that there's no shame in it, right? To kind of reduce the stigma. We actually have a scholarship session coming up on hall through our academic support system that will kind of just help persons in terms of scholarship tips, best practices, so that they understand how to go about applying for scholarships and showing them that it's an avenue for funding their futures.
Got you. Dijane, if you could just repeat the details in terms of how members of the public can make a contribution.
Okay, so donations can be made to the Dewey General account at the National Commercial Bank University Branch, account number 402-602-392. That is 402-602-392. And of course, you can visit our social media page, AZ Preston Hall, on Instagram, AZPRESTONHALL, to see the promotional flyer with these details on it.
Yeah. So, Aston Preston Hall, they're launching a Preston Scholarship Fund. Their target, $500,000, $500,000. And it's a good initiative. The young people are trying to help their peers, their colleagues who may be finding it difficult to afford student housing or housing on campus. So if you can assist, please do. All the best with the fund.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good one. Yeah, so that's the Preston Scholarship Fund. Yeah, you can make a contribution, yeah. Assist a student to find housing. That would be great, yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Barbados, there's a row about the voters list. Mia Mottley has called a snap election, and the opposition leader says, pause.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
The National Rural School Bus Program is getting smarter. With your child's student ID card, parents receive real-time notifications every time they board or exit the bus. Each card is unique and securely linked to the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information database. Tap on, tap off, and parents stay updated instantly. So, how do you register? Number 1, visit jamaica-district.mysmartterm.com/bus-portal/registration. Number 2, enter your child's details. Number 3, upload supporting documents. Number 4, submit your application. It's that easy. Safer, smarter, more secure. Register today and ride with peace of mind.
He never shies away from taboo topics. Voyagings After Dark.
The most riveting discussions.
Voyagings After Dark.
Topics that are shunned by society.
And everything else in between. Voyagings After Dark with Kareem Voyagings this and every Wednesday from 8 to 11 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
You can't miss.
What's buzzing?
Celebrity outfits.
Is that a hit or a miss?
Bust the odds.
Jamaica's Got Talent.
Wait, war man.
Hot takes.
Talk up the takes.
Actual factual.
Life is short.
Voyagings After Dark.
Come get your mind blown.
And your curiosity explored.
Another election is in the offing in the Caribbean, this time in Barbados, and the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, is pushing back against criticism from the Democratic Labour Party DLP leader Ralph Thorne over the timing of the upcoming general election. She says the process followed the law and claims to the contrary are based on a misunderstanding. Thorne raised concerns at the DLP's island-wide rally on Saturday, arguing that the election was announced before the Electoral and Boundaries Commission completed the voters' list. He says that's not due until January 31.
First of all, the EBC, Electoral and Boundaries Commission, has until the 31st of January to give us a new list. As you know, the 31st of January has not come. So that before that statutory period has arrived, an election has been called, which has thrown the whole thing into disarray. Yeah? So the election has been called before the list has been completed. And that is wrong. That is wrong.
So the meeting, what is normal?
So an election is called is that the meeting has to be called of the EBC within a certain time.
No, look, that I am not sure how often the Electoral and Boundaries Commission met last year. A properly functioning Electoral and Boundaries Commission should have been meeting all of last year in preparation for an election which was always going to be constitutionally due in 2027. In other words, the government, the Prime Minister of this country has rushed ahead of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The Electoral and Boundaries Commission is not yet in a position to complete a list properly, except that the Prime Minister has announced an election. So that the word I use is previous. The Prime Minister has been previous in calling this election. But this is not a statement of cowardice. This is not a statement of any intent to withdraw. The fact that we are here today doing what we are doing shows our intent, and our serious intent is to wrestle this government away from the Barbados Labour Party, and we intend to do it, except that there are many irregularities, but we are going to transcend the irregularities. But it is our duty to let the people of Barbados know that there are several irregularities attending this process, and it is our duty and it is our intention to protect the rights of the people of Barbados, to ensure that every Barbadian is given the right to vote. Today, we are not satisfied that every Barbadian is being given the right to vote, and I will repeat those names. Relatives of David Thompson, now deceased, have been taken off the list. Of course, they have until Monday to have that rectified, but it ought not to have happened. And the mere fact that it is his children is an indication to us that somebody, somewhere, is able to identify persons according to a partisan bias. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Shakespeare said that. I extend it to Barbados. Something is rotten in the state of Barbados today.
That's Ralph Thorne, the leader of the DLP, the Democratic Labour Party. He is the opposition leader in Barbados. Well, responding later on the campaign trail, Prime Minister Motley rejected his assertion. She pointed to the Representation of the People Act to support her position. And she's saying that that legislation requires the voters register to be published no later than January 31, but not on that exact date. Here's Mia Motley.
Earlier today, the leader of the opposition made some comments once again about the integrity of the list. It is important and incumbent on me to be able to put things in context. This matter of registration of persons is a continuous process. In every election since 1991, there have always been anomalies. What has happened, therefore, is nothing that is unique or any partisan consideration. I heard him when he said that Mr. Thompson's family, some of them were off, but I want to also say that Glenn Clark's children were also off. And therefore, this can in no way be any kind of partisan action. That is why we have been saying continuously, check the list. And I go further back. Mr. Thorne said that the list was to be published on the 31st of January, and therefore what we have done is premature. Mr. Thorne really, as a senior counsel, needs to go and read the law, because the Representation of the People Act at section 13.1, and I invite you to go and read it yourself, says very clearly that the Commission shall cause to be prepared and shall publish not later than the 31st of January in every year a register of electors for each constituency and a register of Foreign Service electors entitled to vote at any election. That register was published on the 15th of January before I announced the election last weekend, and therefore constituted the official 2026 register. So let us first of all put aside that misinterpretation of what the law actually says. Having said that, once an election is called, preliminary lists are published. And that is why even before he spoke, I met with my people this morning and indicated that there is a little more than 48 hours left for all persons who may not be on the list or who require a change of residence to go and get it done. I've asked over and over, and I think I said it at St. Lucie the other night, go on ebc.gov.bb in order to check if your name is on the list. You only have to put in your ID number, and that will determine if you're on or not. If you don't find your name on the list, then that is where we urge you to be able to go either to the Electoral and Boundaries Commission's office or to the registering offices in each constituency or to the Barbados Labour Party campaign offices, and even where they exist, because I don't think they have in every constituency, the Democratic Labour Party's offices or any other political party, because it is in the interest of anyone who is running to first and foremost make sure that the names are on the list. So this is not a BLP exercise or a DLP exercise or any of the other parties that exist. This is a national exercise, first to determine. Now these things happen because when there was the enumeration last year, persons may have gone across. In some instances it may be human error, in other instances people may not have found people. And that is why the EBC, the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, since the 23rd of November, published a list of persons that they could not find. And they then published them again on the 30th of November. But as with all things, we know that sometimes in this country you have to do things over and over and over and over for people to get the message. And that is why every person who is a candidate in this election ought to apply themselves first and foremost to ensuring that people are on the list before Monday evening. That is acceptable practice. Monday evening, 7:30, I am told by the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, is the absolute deadline for registration and transfer notices, change of residency. So that I want to urge Bajans to please go and check your name. You can go on ebc.gov.bb. You can even come on our website, blp.org.bb. You put in your number, and it is as easy as, let me put in mine and show you. I pulled up the site, and once I pull up the site, I go straight to it, put in my number, and immediately press the arrow, and immediately the names come up within a matter of seconds as to who is there and who isn't. And my name comes up, my polling district comes up, I'm in St. Michael North, where I have to vote, all of that comes up. And that's what I've been doing all day. But I'm saying don't wait on a politician to do it, you can do it yourself. And you have time to correct it tomorrow and Monday if your name is not on the list. But this notion that this is a partisan political, Mr. Thorne has been making these wild allegations since last year. And in the by-election last year, I told him to bring the evidence, put up or shut up. And I remain convinced that there is no evidence that has been brought to cause me to believe that there's anything untoward about our system. Barbados has never had international or regional electoral observers to the best of my knowledge. And why? Because our system is intended to work, and this process of registration is a continuous process. So that when we have the annual list, it is to give everybody a benchmark each year. The EBC has complied with that. But then they also do the additions and deletions throughout the entire year. And that is what I want Barbadians to understand, rather than believing that something mysterious or awkward or bad has happened. Your only duty, check to make sure. Because once man makes something, there can always be error. And there have been anomalies, 1991, 1994, 1999, 203, 208, 213, 218, 22, and now. It's no different, and there will be going forward.
The Prime Minister there of Barbados, Mia Mottley, seeking a third term in office. Well, in response, the opposition leader says his party is prepared to go to court for greater oversight into the operations of the Barbadian Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
We are going to continue our protests. We are going to continue our vigilance over the work of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission. We are concerned, and I repeat, this is not a concern expressed on behalf of the Democratic Labour Party. This is a concern expressed on behalf of the people of Barbados, and I repeat, if it is one person who has been denied the right to vote after last night's deadline, that is wrong. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. We are willing to go to the courts of this country to ensure that the rights of every elector, every voter, that those rights are respected. We are prepared to do that.
Yeah. Ralph Thorne there. I'll say this. If you're complaining about the process before the election has been run, chances are you're going to lose. Yeah, that's usually the playbook of those who think they're about to lose. They complain, and they say it's rigged, or they say there's something untoward afoot. And when they lose, they'll say, "See, me did tell you." So we'll see. We'll see if Mia Motley will get this repeat. Yeah, the third term. We're going to take a break now and then come back with your calls. The number is 630-937-124, 618-6730.
The Chris and Charles Merry Money Mania loan promotion. This Christmas, borrow big and win bigger. Get $1.5 million or $2 million in loans at special reduced rates, plus a chance to win your share of $1 million. And new customers get double entries. The promotion runs from October 15 and is now extended to January 30, 2026. Visit any Chris and Charles branch or chrisandcharles.com for details. Chris and Charles, making life merry again. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Protect your investment before the first shovel hits the ground with Serling Design and Construction. Our Clerk of Works consultancy provides independent on-site oversight to ensure your project is built right the first time. We eliminate poor workmanship, keep the contractors accountable to drawings and standards, and reduce stress through clear reporting and early issue detection. From workmanship and materials to compliance and performance, we prevent costly rework, delays, and disputes because small issues become big problems from day one. Telephone 876-276-0276.
It's the Chris and Charles Merry Money Mania loan promotion. This Christmas, borrow big and win bigger. Get $1.5 million or $2 million in loans at special reduced rates, plus a chance to win your share of $1 million. And new customers get double entries. The promotion runs from October 15 and is now extended to January 30, 2026. Visit any Chris and Charles branch or chrisandcharles.com for details. Chris and Charles, making life merry again. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
In times of loss, sharing information matters. Nationwide 90 FM offers professional obituary announcements, ensuring family, friends, and communities are informed with care and dignity.
It's been a long day.
Obituaries are aired weekdays at 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. When it's important to reach people, let us help you do so respectfully. Contact our sales team today, 876-630-1210, or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com for more information. Nationwide 90 FM, informing Jamaica with care.
Bobby, good.
Yes, good evening, my good friend Ricardo.
Good evening, Bobby.
Yes. And Siobhan is also in the studio too?
Yes, Bobby, how you doing?
Well, I'm okay. All is well?
All is well.
Yes, I just want to ask a question. If the government did not lend JPS that amount of money for the restoration process after Melissa, do you know what would happen to us as the JPS customers?
A lot of customers up to today would still be without power. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. So what is the concern of the opposition?
Ricardo?
Which concern? Which one?
No, because, I think it was up to yesterday, I hear the opposition still questioning, right, that they have a concern about the loan.
I think what I understand him to be saying is that apparently initially it was said that it was going to cost $350 million US.
Yes.
And the government lent 150.
So I suppose they wanted to know where was the deficit.
Where the rest coming from. But I think Hugh Grant cleared that up today, that they have now secured the entirety of the funding required.
Okay, you see, that's good, you see. But I just want to show the Jamaican people, you see, that goes to show you that Prime Minister Jones, he really cares about the people, especially in times of disaster. right, and so on, because trust me, if the government did not do that, trust me, I wouldn't like to see my last electricity bill that I had to pay just the other day. Probably I would have to mortgage my house and pay.
Well, my bill has been very odd, and JPS has sought to explain it to me, and I still don't understand it. Because my bill has never come to more than probably $15,000. And in January, it came to $40,000. And JPS's explanation to me is essentially that the bills were estimated in October, November, and December. And so what I'm being asked to pay now is the difference, because apparently there was no an actual reading, and it's not even clear to me. It don't quite make no sense to me, and I'm still very, very, very displeased by that, despite JPS's explanation.
Exactly. So only hope you go to the relevant person like the Consumer Affairs Commission, and let they deal with it. And finally, Ricardo, you know, quite a few people hear the both of us on the radio some time ago with the back and forth over the United States and Venezuela issue. And you know what? I hear some of them are call me now coward.
Coward? Why is that?
No, because due to we were back and forth, right, and you laugh after me and so on and say, Habby, you know, say you're so coward. Apparently you don't want when you reach JFK airport, you hear, who is this, Bobby? Please come in this room. And I remind them about something.
But I stand by that. I'm not afraid of.
I remind them about something. Said, look here, I am helping my Prime Minister to protect Jamaica. Look here, I tell them that America is our #1 trading partner. And Ricardo, and the people of Jamaica, you remember what the police had said to Cliff when Cliff was working at JBC?
Oh, discretion is the better part of valor.
Of valor, right?
Yes.
So look here, we cannot talk about it. We are trading with Uncle Sam and turn around and cuss him. We must be careful.
Hear you, Bobby.
But there's still the fear that even it seems appeasing him sometimes it's not enough.
Because you don't appease bullish, Siobhan. You know that.
Exactly.
630-937-124-6130. Faithful, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Brooke. Good evening, Siobhan.
Good evening, Faithful.
Mr. Ricardo.
Mr. Faithful.
Yes, thank you. The promo that Mr. Buchanan running.
Mr. Buchanan?
Mr. Buchanan, sport program.
Oh, which one? The one about, oh God, what is it called again? Oh, the name of the program is escaping me now.
That's the one there.
Moments of Glory? Yeah, okay. Yes, what about it?
No,
okay.
You know, I'll advocate to Facebook, I think.
Yes, I've heard you. But you're going to be happy soon. You're going to be happy soon.
No, that's what I want to find out. We'll be soon.
You'll be happy soon.
Well, I will be happy soon.
Yes.
I want to say
against all odds. Against all odds.
Right,
yes,
against all odds, yes. I want to say condolence to Mr. Bob Clark's family. I think we have lost a giant in the media industry. Yes. If no one could ever listen to Mr. Bob Clark and don't leave feeling satisfied with his program and his mannerism and the way they deliver his program.
Okay.
I think it was a great asset to Jamaica media. I was listening to Mr. David today with the JUTC bus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I get the feeling that there's too much inconvenience with the bus. One, I don't know if it's the reason why Mr. Barnes, which I think everybody paying tax, so the rural people supposed to get ride on the JUTC bus too. But I'm wondering if it's not too much, is that make it too much of an inconvenience for those people in Kingston and St. Catherine and places like those. I think that they are less bus when they are supposed to more bus. And Ms. Stamps was saying today that they watch the bus at 12 o'clock in the day when the bus was supposed to be on the road. That doesn't make sense to me. I think we need better management at JUTC for the benefit of poor people in this country. I mean, there's too much inconvenience. Too many people have complained. Too many people can't get it right when they're ready. And also, could it be that lack of supervision?
I'm sure to some point management plays a part, but you have to remember, you know, that's what's happened when a system deteriorates and it doesn't keep up with the needs of the people of the country. It's going to take some time before it catches up. I mean, it's under this administration that we've really spent any time in terms of getting additional buses into the country and into the system. Well, and then you have to put that into the fact that they're now trying to expand the service, as you said, to other communities. So it's not going to be an overnight fix. It's going to take some time before that system can be considered on par to the needs of the Jamaican people.
Yes, but for the length of time now, some person wait 3-4 hours. That is
4 hours? Where did that happen? I mean, as I said, as someone who uses public transport, I know some of the wait times can be quite egregious, but 4 hours?
Yeah, I heard the complaint on the radio several times, not 1 or 2 times. And it cannot be that you have no bus and so many people have been inconvenienced.
No, because remember now, even as the new buses come in, they have to take those that simply just aren't roadworthy out of the system. You know? So it's not just a process of addition, it's also a process of replacement.
Yes, it's a process of replacement, but still, if a person waits so long, that tells that this operation that the poor class of people going through. If I have to wait so long and I have the money, I would charge a taxi or charge whatever I want to go.
I hear, you know, public transport goes to the root of what, when we talk about productivity issues in this country, public transport goes to the root of it. Yeah. Because if you can't get to where you need on time, the lengths that you have to go to accomplish that, it puts a strain on the system.
Yeah. Run gone, leaving no faithful. Me no want Papa Nana cost me later. 630-937-124-618-6730. Papa Nana says I allow Faithful to go on for too long. He says when Faithful come on, the show done. So I don't want Papa Nana to cost me tonight. We're taking your calls, 630-937-124, 618-6730. Those are the numbers to call. Yeah, we can take a few more. The YouTubers are weighing in on the bus issue. I mean, thank God. I don't want to take the bus.
No, but even under those circumstances, it affects people who don't commute. It affects people who drive as well, because you deal with the concerns about traffic. If you know that your workplace is 30 minutes away, and you should be able to arrive there within decent time, what happens when so many people rely on public transport or simply cannot rely on public transport? As a result, they have to drive. You end up with more congestion. Yeah. So you have to wake up 6 o'clock to get to a 9 o'clock meeting. That's unrealistic.
We had a conversation the other evening about whether we should stagger work so that everybody is not coming in at the same time. So everybody is not trying to get to work at 8:30, right? So stagger. So that was a solution.
That seems more like a solution for a fix that isn't implemented.
What do you mean?
Because the fix itself is that we need better public transport. So what we're doing is trying to find a solution for a problem that should be fixed alternatively.
Fair. Dennis.
Yes, sir. Good night. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad. Calling about the hurricane relief.
Yes.
3 weeks after the hurricane, there were some persons who came out in St. Elizabeth. The survey of those whose houses got damaged.
The Ministry of Labour?
Yes.
Yes.
When they came to my district in Paradise in St. Elizabeth, the persons were told down there that those who have started repairing their houses, they should not consider those persons among the group who should benefit from the relief that would be coming. No, I don't know if I heard that because the gentleman who carried them to my house had to show them that, listen, I left all the way from town to come down there and do repairs. So therefore, myself and others who have started something should not have been disqualified from getting assistance. I don't know if you heard anything about that, and I'm certain that is true, and I don't think that you could really support such an action.
I have not heard that.
All right. Well, let me tell you something. It is true. And last week when the Prime Minister came out and was speaking about the persons and who would be getting benefits, one of the things that he spoke about was that there should not be a case where any one person should be benefiting twice. And let me tell you something. Three out of the 4 bedrooms from my house, the roof went. That of the living room, the dining room, bathroom, all of the roof went. And not because I started something and others started something, we should be disqualified from getting any benefits. So what I would like you to do for me, could you check it out if there is any truth to it that there are some persons who got damaged and would be disqualified from getting any benefits.
Because you've already started your repairs.
Yes. So therefore, I'm saying even myself and others who have started repairs, do you think that should disqualify us from getting any of the benefits?
Well, I mean, that would suggest that you can afford to repair, no?
No, that does not suggest that. That suggested that I could not afford to let the rain continue falling and damaging the furniture and everything in my house. So I had to make the sacrifice to start something. I have not finished yet.
Yes.
So I'm asking you.
And I'm saying to you, I appreciate that, and I'm just thinking what could be the reason. I don't know if it is true that is the case, that you can't get the benefit if you've started repair, but I'm just thinking what would be the reason. I'd have to find out more about it before I answer. But off the top of my head, I'm thinking that maybe the assumption is that if you started to repair, you can afford to repair. But as I say, I don't know if that is indeed the case.
And please recall, listener, you can still, on your own recognizance, go to the Ministry of Labor and say, I need assistance.
No, let me tell you something. Now, one of the things that I would love for you to do, because as far as I'm concerned, I think it is grossly unfair for them to ever conceive that kind of action, much more to implement that. And one of the things, yes, I would like you to find out and publicize it. Persons whose houses that they came and they observe whatsoever, how can we be assured that we would be benefited? Is there any agency that we could go to that would then tell us whether or not our name is on the list?
But what did the assessment involve when they came? They didn't take your name?
Well, they would have just taken name, look at the damage, though persons were told that who started something, they should not consider those to get any benefits.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
The persons who came to do the assessment.
And did they tell you where they were from?
I suppose it must have been some government agencies, because it is the same period of time. That's why I'm asking you, as a public service, to do that for every last Jamaican who got damaged during hurricane.
And have you called the ministry to find out?
No, I have not called him, and that's why I'm asking you. You can easily get to them more than I do. Can you call the ministry to find out if there is any truth to it, that those who started to do repairs, they should not be considered to get any benefit from the relief? And if that is the case, it is unfair.
I see someone else, Rick Jam NYC in the chat, is saying that his friend's mother was told the same thing. So yes. I will ask the Ministry of Labor.
Yes,
right?
and believe me, please find it and publicize, because I think it is grossly unfair. 3 out of my 4 bedrooms, the roof went. Right now, I don't even start to put on. A lot of the zinc have not gone back on yet. The Solitex have not gone back. Furniture in the house got damaged.
So you need help. You're saying you need help.
Everybody needs help.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody needs it. So beg you, please sign it out and publicize it for every last one of us.
All right. Dana, can you just make a note of that, please, so we can ask the ministry? All right, we will do that.
Okay, sir. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Well, I see this statement from the Prime Minister, and this was back in December, where they at least outlined their priorities to say the strategy is we're going to look for the most vulnerable people who can't repair their roofs themselves. They're not working, they're elderly, they're shut in.
Well, you see, it's as I thought, because I imagine you want to prioritize those who absolutely cannot. But as I say, I don't know if that is what is happening, but we'll check. But that statement would suggest that they're prioritizing those who are most destitute and in need. All right, that's where we're going to leave it. Dana Davey, thank you so much, super producer. Bugs, the man behind the controls, thank you, bro. Our colleagues in the newsroom, the very best in the business, thank you all so much. All our callers, contributors, and you, our valued listeners. Big up on yourself, YouTubers. Thank you for keeping us company. That's been Nationwide at 5. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good evening.